You think I give a fuck about my reputation? I don't give a shit.
Hi, good morning.
We're
going right off the gate.
No. Fuck it. We're going hard off the.
Oh no. Oh no.
Hello. Good morning, Noir.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, y'all. How's it going?
Oh, I've got still Wally on the freaking guest. Ah, God. You can tell that I am not on this.
Wally.
Wally, you look different.
I changed career paths. I chose a different life. This
Fair,
one,
your pronouns are
it
she,
turns
her,
out,
right?
They sure are. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No,
You didn't ask me my pronouns.
You told me your pronouns months ago.
What are they?
Have they updated? Do you want me to change it?
Maybe.
Your pronouns are he, they, as far as I was aware.
My pronouns are now he, they, and them niggas.
He found a way. Life finds a way.
There was no hard R, at least.
Fair. I'm just gonna drown myself in this coffee really quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be over here.
I didn't get no sleep, baby. I don't give a shit.
Let's go.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the fuck is the name of the show again?
Morning Ritual?
I'm out of it. Leave me alone.
I don't even want to tell him. I just want to see what he's gonna do.
So Noir, just take like 5 sips of your death coffee.
1,
2,
2.
Oh,
3,
just chug it.
Chug,
4. Chug.
Oh no, you don't chug death coffee.
I did.
I want you
That's
to understand.
how you want to die.
I have no regards for my own life or safety. In fact, every day that I wake up, I shake my fist at God and I go again. But like, I won't chug death coffee.
I chug the death coffee, but I guess I'm just like I'm fueled on anxiety on the daily.
I was going to say, hey Anita, I think I regret to inform you have a caffeine addiction, my guy.
It's
That's
true.
what that is.
That is not.
You think you're better than me?
No, not at all. Quite the opposite. I think that I'm worse than most people because of low self-esteem.
No.
Hey, everybody, we're going to just dump our trauma on everybody.
We can't be this real. I mean, we get... okay.
I'm so sorry.
Welcome in.
All right, let's go. You want to talk about feelings?
Welcome to Morning Ritual. I remember the name of our show that we've been doing for 50 plus episodes. I'm one of your hosts, TTRPGs. I remember that much as well too. Look at me go. And the other host is...
That's me. Hi, I'm Anita. My pronouns are she, they. But we've got a fantastic guest today. Smooth. These are some seamless transitions we've got going on.
We're killing it.
It's almost like we know
we're doing it.
Oh my God.
We stopped killing it to acknowledge that we're killing it. We need to go back to killing it.
Keep going. Don't let the anxiety take over.
Quite often, this is the, like, you usually miss the beginning because it's always like this. Yeah.
Did you hear the disappointment in that comment? I love it. I never see the beginning. Is this the clusterfuck that you all start with?
No, I read it with a different tone. I read it. Is this how it usually is? Like it's like, oh my God.
Is this it? No, I love this. Okay.
I need you to understand. I read everything like someone's disappointed in me, and that's why I'm afraid of all DMs.
You want to talk about that? You want to talk about that? We got
trauma.
All aboard the trauma train. Choo choo, motherfuckers.
No, baby, it's all aboard the trauma.
Right.
All aboard the trauma train. Boo hoo. So we have a lovely guest that we've tried to introduce 8 times now.
I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let it happen. I'm just gonna keep derailing, and it'll be like, who's that one real sad girl on their show? And they're like, we literally don't know. We have no idea.
This
did it even happen?
It's gonna be a perpetually fucking going cycle of us getting distracted with our ADD and you like playing puppet master. Like, yes, we've never introduced me.
Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are. I'm bring this train back on the tracks.
Anita's like, not on my watch.
The train is back on the tracks. Boo-hoo, motherfuckers.
Hi, I'm 0SarahXFrank0. I do TTRPG stuff on the internet. I'm generally silly in most places. I mean, I don't know. I'm a pretty chill dude. And you can quote me on that. That's
I just realized that I don't have music going in the background, and I had no music on the loading screen, so everybody was sitting in silence, waiting for us to start.
Oh, I like that. The suspense.
Good.
Intrigue.
Good.
I want this to be awkward as hell.
I want them to feel something in the way that I feel nothing. Welcome to the feelings episode.
Welcome to the feels.
You've been quoted on that, Sarah. You're a chill dude.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of ways to describe what we've been listening to. Josh, I'm sure none of them are good. Silence is not one of the worst.
I mean, that's probably good. Yeah,
that's fair.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, it's not a consummate disappointment, which is my nickname all throughout my childhood. Choo choo, all aboard the travel train. So let's start getting into what we do on this show, which is ask questions, I think.
That's great because I love asking questions.
Wait, no, that's not how that works.
Oh shit.
Try to Uno reverse me. Nobody wants me to answer questions. They want you to answer questions.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do my best. Is this a test? How do I get an A? I didn't study.
I don't know where I am right now. I need help.
There it is. Remember what we were discussing last night after Star Trek? That we're a ship full of burnt out, talented, gifted, submissive breast praise kings.
Wait, what?
Listen. I was supposed to be great. That's what the prophecy said. And I was like, I'm going to take a nap instead. And here we are.
Is your favorite trope the gifted child? Or were you also a burnt out gifted kid? Was your favorite trope the chosen one? Or were you also a burnt out gifted kid?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But I was never gifted in like anything other than English though. Like in junior high, I got tested and we found out that I read at a college level because all I like to do is read. Because in the house, like when I was grounded all the time, all I could do was read.
Right. And were you that kid? Were you the kid that like the teacher was like, "Are you back there fucking reading?" And like you got in trouble for it, and it made zero sense because you're in school. You're in school, and then getting in trouble for reading. Like, what the fuck? What is that even?
I got suspended for reading the novelization of The Death of Superman in science class. It wasn't science class; it was like a particular science. I think it was like chemistry or something. Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
Because I kept doing it, and I was just like. Finding out what happens to Kal-El in the midst of this fight with Doomsday is far more important to me
gotta know.
in my life than anything you will teach me in chemistry. And I was right. I haven't had one moment in my life where I was just like, my knowledge of chemistry has saved my life. However, I made $50 from trivia from knowing some stuff about Superman and the Death of Superman storyline. So I guess I was right in the long run.
Get wrecked. Chemistry as a whole, you're useless to us. We have no use for you.
Meanwhile, fucking Mark Roberts sits in front of me in English too and brings his laptop every day and pretends it's for school, but he's just writing Kingdom Hearts and Tales of Symphonia fan fiction, but I get in trouble. Fuck you. I think Tales of Symphonia is the only Tales game that I ever played, and I love it because
you need to fix it because Vesperia is better. Come at me. That's a hot take, but I don't even care.
What the fuck is
Tales
that?
of Vesperia Forever. She's got Tales of Fantasia. Or what is it?
It's Tales of Fantasia on the Super
Nintendo.
That's what it's a repro cart, but it's a beautiful repro cart. It has a poster in it and everything. It's like got a poster, full game manual. Like
I got all my little Tales, little guys back here because I'm just love Tales. I like RPGs. Weird.
So yeah, there was a weird thing that happened with sorry, I had to answer this question because Michael Wade asked. There's this weird thing that happened with Supergirl where she turned into goo because of, I forgot exactly what was going on, but it was a subplot with Lex Luthor, where Lex Luthor had like this ridiculously red flowing hair. It was like looking like a Pantene commercial, and it was awesome. I think she was like, well, I mean, obviously she's an alien, but like it was some kind, like she was some kind of like alien that wasn't actually Supergirl. And like DC's continuity is weird. Like but nobody cares about that. I just had to get that out, like get that off my chest.
I just needed people to know.
I just need to flex for a second. So
I liked it. It was good. It was good. I'm highly supportive. Wait
a second. I feel like we're answering questions and we're supposed to be asking them. Fuck, she trained us again.
I have a running joke with close friends that I'm actually some weird kind of fae that just kind of fell out of the Feywild, and I refuse to be perceived. So, which is weird because I stream, but you know, it's weird.
Well, that shit's got to stop because the TTRPG community needs to check out what you're doing because this is where I'm going to throw compliments at you and you're just going to have to deal with it. You are an amazing GM, and if you have not seen Sarah GM, you need to check it out. I know that you do several one-shots for TPK Roleplay. You had a campaign going for some time that I was involved in called The Bard's Refrain, and I'll never forgive you for it.
Bard's Refrain was beautiful. Like,
I can't cry this early. Oh, thank you.
Get sad.
Thank you. Oh no, those are good. Those are good cries. I ran the Bard's Refrain that was technically supposed to be a one shot. It started. Pandemic had hit, and I was jamming to some tunes. And Phil Collins, a Phil Collins song came on. And I was listening to it, and I was like, man, these are like great lyrics. Like this is just a great song. And the more I listened to it, I was like, you could probably make a really cool like plot line just based around these lyrics. It was "Don't Lose My Number." And the more I like, you know how you just get an idea and it just sticks in like the top, like it's like right here in your head, it just sticks there. And you're like, And I was like, fuck it. Well, let's write a one shot. Let's do this thing. And then I invited all my favorite people that I had played TTRPGs with to come play with me, which included Noir and Lukalok and Saint and Turk. And we did the thing. And then everybody was like, when are we doing that thing again? And I was beyond flattered. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. And we played for another year, and we just wrapped it up in September. And it was a lot of fun. Nothing is more satisfying than rickrolling not only like your friends and your table, but an entire fucking TTRPG community. Like it was
for an entire season.
Gonna do one of those.
So just to give you all, like, I mean, you heard, like the entire point of the Bard's Refrain is that half of the gag was trying to figure out what the song or musician that inspired the one shot was before it was over. So like as an audience, half of the game is just like, can you put together the clues to figure out whose song or we're in,
or whose discography we're in?
Yeah. And I remember during the first one, it clicked for me that we were in Phil Collins when there was not an evil gang, but there was a gang called Genesis. And then there was a magic item, the Staff of the Cobra, whose activation word was Susudio. You went too far.
I was so pleased though, because like I think a GM's like biggest fear is like they're not going to get my clues, and like as the session went on, like I started with like little baby ones, and then like Genesis was the big one. I was like, fuck, they're gonna get it. Nobody really said anything, and then we kept going, and I dropped Susudio, and your immediate response, you and Saint both started singing Susudio, and then there was like a beat, and you looked at the camera and you were like, fuck you, Sarah, fuck what you've done here. And I was just like, like, it was just like, you got it. And it was amazing. And like, it was literally chasing that high of like, are they going to get the song? Like, and what I loved about it, and I've talked about this a little bit, is like, by the time we reached the end, like, I feel like that was the gimmick, or like the thing that made the Bard's Refrain different than just like a homebrew campaign. But by the time we got to the end, it didn't fucking matter. Like, nobody cared. Like it was, oh, this is cool. Yeah, great. It's, you've got like Home by the Sea as your basis, like neat. Like you used it in intervals song that had like no lyrics, but talked about like circadian rhythm. Like that's pretty cool. But like people cared about the story. And that to me, like, I think it speaks to the level of narrative power that like, not like that my cast like brought to me, because it was literally, they were like, we want to do these cool things, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like it was just like, support the shit out of that. Yes, please and thank you.
It was such a good campaign. And to answer your question, Josh, I believe there was an NPC named Gabriel
in
the Bard's Refrain. No, not Gabriel. But you did drop some names that should have. Oh yeah,
So that like one of the first main NPCs was Colin Phillips. The song was it was a Phil Collins song. My big bet. So the ultimate end was, the last song was "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley. And the BBEG was Richard Staley. I just kind of flipped letters around, and I had him do a full monologue where he straight up, he said all the things: never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, like all of it, in like episode 4, I think. And I was so nervous because I'm like, they're gonna know. Nobody's
gonna know.
What?
Nobody's gonna know. How would they know?
What Sarah's not telling you is that it happened in like a tearful moment of like one NPC losing another one and genuinely going, I'll never give you up, I'll never let you down, but like sad, and we're like all too busy crying to play this fucking game.
I'm just like, I see you have some trauma. Would you like some more?
Here's some trauma. Sprinkled with some Rick Astley in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we can't laugh at it, then what's the fucking point? Like, legitimately.
And also, Josh, I never play games like that with character names. I don't know what you're talking about.
I would never. Yeah, but it was. So this is a fun thing. That was the first time that I had GM'd a full campaign. Up until that point, I GM'd like a handful of home sessions, some of which did not go well. But like that's the nature of learning how to GM. But truly, it was supposed to be like a one and done. Like did my little toe in the GMing space, and then it just I think with all like creative things, it just ran away with me in the driver's seat, screaming for help. But like doing my best.
I realize that there's no actual bit rewards for this show, so I should turn that off.
You know what? Now there are bit rewards for this show. If you do a bang,
do it.
Me and Anita have to fight. Like I'll fly to Canada and we just straight fisticuffs.
Let's go. My money's on Anita. 100%. She's gonna be like a just stone cold, like stab you in the kidneys before you realize it.
Nora has something that they really want to say right now, but it's just like...
No, I don't. Shut up. You don't perceive me. Leave me alone.
Listen, I can't believe you, Nora. I set you up like that and you just like close shop. This is bullshit.
I was thinking we were going to be like, it's not the first time I've been stabbed. What about it?
Yep.
Well, Anita, we'll train Anita while waiting for Noir's flight to land. Who's your vote here?
Yes, Lauren. Yes.
I'll say what I had in mind for 500 bits. All right. No, I'm kidding. So let's go back to doing our show and asking questions. I want
to know. I want to know.
Everyone's too tired this morning. Like, I like how the conversation's kind of flowing.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah. Hi.
How does it feel to be so amazing all the time?
Oh, no, stop. No, just am human. Like, I just am awkward, don't know what to do with hands most of the time. And so I just scream the funniest thing that like occurs to me and run away. Like,
penis.
I'm funny, run.
Also, like, I don't think Sarah gets enough credit for like the accent work she does. Because some of the voices for Bard's Refrain are actually really, really good.
Well, thank you.
You know what? And I do have to say you're killing it as a Vulcan in your Star Trek game, because I am. Listen, I don't know how else to say this. I don't have a lot of time to watch a lot of streams live. And when I do get the chance to watch your stream live, anybody's stream, I want to be a terrorist in your chat.
True.
Like I want to ruin your game by making everybody laugh, right? And Anita, you foolishly have the feature to allow someone to
name NPCs,
and it's in your game.
Genius.
Yep.
And I have been terrorizing your show with it. So far, we have Ensign Cheeks.
Ensign Cheeks is a Cation engineer and works under Savas.
And then we have Lieutenant Clapon.
Lieutenant Clapon has been arrested by Starfleet intelligence as part of a smuggling ring on the space station.
It's true. It was amazing. It was like, that's the thing about like Anita is she just like, come try to fuck with me right now. Just try to fuck with me.
Let's do
just do it. Come at me. And then she's just like, I'm just gonna take that and Hadouken it back at you.
Yeah, Clapon tried to kill AJ's character.
Clapon, well, what about Cheeks? Is Clapon and Cheeks okay?
Cheeks is fine. Cool. Cheeks is aboard the ship doing some routine
they're
maintenance.
Chill dude. As Chill Dude can confirm, Chill Dude status.
I made an entire plot around Clapon and the other NPC that we had named in chat. They were running a smuggling ring in the space station and had a bit of a disagreement, and Clapon got phasered and beat the heck up. Our engineer was framed for it.
Not on my fucking watch. Not on my watch.
But the crew solved the mystery.
I can't wait till Corporal both of these shows up.
Please, for the love of God, yes. Yes.
Corporal Bofides is Corporal's not really a Star Trek.
Admiral Bofides.
Admiral Bofides. We already have Admiral Pascal.
Which is
named after Wass's bird and Sarah's cat.
It's amazing.
Commander Bofides.
Commander Bofides.
There we go.
Listen, give me that NPC name. Guess what? It's gonna happen.
I love it.
I'm so sorry.
I love it. It's everything.
Bofides is bullying.
I love Anita. She just try to fuck with me. Just like bring that energy over here so I can like smack you in the face with it. It's just very good.
I'm trying to like destroy this game with the mechanics given to us on the channel. And
I'm going to take Commander Bofides and I'm going to give them the most tragic fucking backstory. You just try me. I am going to make Bofides Bofides lost their partner at the Battle of Wolf 359.
I'm supposed to be emotionless. You can't do this to me. I can't cry and be Vulcan at the same time. Like it's not.
I just met her.
Oh God damn it! Of course it was Bright that said that. Oh my God!
Jesus. Do you hear how over we both were at the same time?
Yeah, Wiggles got Superman punched.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's an amazing game though. Like Anita, you tweeted out like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing," and I was like, and I'm super excited to be a part of it. Like so I GM a little bit, but I would say the bulk of my TTRPG stuff is as a player. Like, and I love narrative focused games, and I feel like most people in this space do, but like, no, y'all, I fucking love narrative based games. I'm gonna go so hard for it. And so like the idea that like we like signed up and we were like making our characters, and I came in, I'm like, I just want to be Spock if that's cool. And everybody's like, fuck yes. And I was like, hell yeah. And so I can like check off like a childhood dream of mine to like be a Vulcan. Like, let's get back on that trauma train. Like someone who doesn't feel any emotions and yet is effective in the world and recognized for their accomplishments. I would love that.
Trying to put you in the tear ducts in your stomach while I DM. Yeah, that's my goal.
So now, like,
square in the feel space.
This gives rise to an actual question, which is that you've been in a number of actual plays on a number of different channels. So I have to ask you, when do you know that you're going to enjoy working on a show, and what are some warning signs that you are not about to have a good time?
Ooh, that's good.
This is a really good question. Good signs for me, like, is when people laugh at my jokes. And that sounds stupid, but like, it's legitimately true. Like if I'm at a table and like, particularly like the first couple sessions, like the party doesn't really know each other yet. And like, if you can like joke and goof with each other, like respectfully, and everybody like gets the same kind of like, that to me is a really great indication. Like if I'm on a Zoom call and I just like drop like a dumb little bit and I like watch the people's reaction and somebody like grins or like shakes their head and it's like, okay, that motherfucker gets it. Like it's 100% like those are my people. That's how Harper's worked. The first session we played is you were playing Hal and I was playing Valdani, and I would just like go a little bit extra every once in a while. And you would always respond with like, I see your extra, and yes, here's my little bit of extra. It's the yes anding at a table and like the collaboration of it. Like our characters didn't necessarily agree. We weren't best friends, but like the energy was matched. So find tables that you can laugh together at, I think is the big thing there. Tables that I don't think, like warning signs for me, are when people interrupting a moment for mechanics. If somebody, you know what I mean? Like if something dope is happening, let it happen. Who gives a shit? Like let the cool thing happen. But well, actually, this is how this mechanic. Like no. Come on, guys. Like, I think there's that. We've had conversations about this, Noir, if I can just be real frank. Like main character vibes. Like that's always like, I think TTRPGs are powerful because it's a cast of characters coming together to tell a story. And I think sometimes people are like, I'm the most interesting one here and I'm the coolest of cools. And if I start getting that vibe, to me, what it means is that person thinks the story that they're telling is more interesting than the collective story. And that's just, it's concerning, right? Like, it's like, that's not really a TTRPG. Like that's great. And I'm highly supportive of you doing that. But I would suggest that maybe like writing a book or something like that would be better suited. Like, it's just different. So that always mechanics and main character syndrome kind of are like, okay, all right. I don't know about that.
I find I really enjoy that you brought up Hal, who was not easy.
Hal is one of my favorite, like legitimately.
Both of us have played with Hal, but in different games.
Yes, and he was amazing. Like I loved like talking about collaborative storytelling. Sorry, I'm just gonna rant about this because this is legitimately like a thing. This is a thing for me. I loved like being able to walk in and bounce my character off of Hal, because Hal is just like a solid rock pillar of a person who's like, these are my beliefs, these are my morals, and this is how it is. And then I got to be the person that like walked around and was like, is it? That's
my favorite thing to do with Hal.
The best. Like, are you sure about that? Like, what do you think about this? Well, might I suggest this? Like, it was in a game of unknowns where like the dice are going to mandate what happens, or like the GM has an evil plan. Having someone who was like so grounded was so much fun to interact with,
just
because
like,
you could
you just sort of chip away at that little stone facade.
Yes, pretty soon he's feeding trail mix to your little weasel familiar, and you're like, I got you, bitch. I got you, bitch. I got you, bitch.
It's very funny because like how when he was interacting with Sarah was just like, you remind me of another person that I met, and it was like Anita's character. But the thing is, like, how is a antisocial, kind of almost anti-group character? It would be very easy to say, like, he's the kind of character that you should bring in because they don't want to work with anybody. And the thing that I think ended up working is the fact that it did work with other people. And so I have a question, and this is 60% being asked out of complete spite.
Let's go. Let's go.
Which is, I think that party cohesion requires everybody to function together. Like we essentially, you and I, Sarah, we were in a party where the character couldn't continue to work because you and I, we worked on creating party cohesion, but like other people had other objectives, certainly. Yeah. And so I kind of have to ask, why did it work is the question. Like,
I love this. Yes. No, I love this because I have a theory. And this is what it is. So like my turn off is like that main character syndrome, right? Like if you look at your character, Hal, like on the surface, like I think a lot of people would look at that and be like, that's some edgelord bullshit. Like he's like this monk that doesn't want to talk to anybody and is like, you know, like he has this trauma and like all these things, blah, blah, blah. I think that lacks curiosity. I was curious about Hal. I wanted to know the story that you brought so I could see how it fit with mine. Like there's again, like there's this idea of like the thing that I'm bringing is the coolest shit here. And it's like, that's not how anything works. Like if you GM, you know that your players are going to show you the most interesting parts of your story. It's the same as a player. Your fellow players are going to show you how your character's interesting. So you rolled up with this moody, broody guy. And that was very like, I'm just going to go do the thing and whatever. And what I looked at that was like, here's a person who's going to make decisions, and I can either oppose him, which will shut down the game, or I can just roll with it. I can just I can fall in line and be curious about where it's going to go. I'm going to give up man, you take this one. And what I found is Hal would make a choice. Vildani would support it. And then Hal would be like, okay, Vildani, what do you think? Because now you are curious in my character. And it was that curiosity, that like the legitimate joy of exploring each other's stories and like how they connected and like growing, making something new, that I think, that's the magic of TTRPGs, right? Is it's stories that neither of you could have ever anticipated. Like there's no way you could have known that that's how it's going to go, but you just keep chasing it because you're curious and you want to know, like, how does this book end? And so I think that's what it is. Like, that's the number one, is like curiosity. I just wanted to know what the fuck you brought, dude. Like, who is this? What's going on here? Why is there, what's the deal with that? Are you sure? Like, it just, and then I think honestly, like, this isn't set. I think in the TTRPG community, we say a lot of things, but in practice, it can be very different. Respect. Like, it legitimately, I think a lot of the times when you're a player, it comes down respect for your other players, for your GM. And like, that's not in like saying like, I'm going to mind my P's and Q's, but it's literally like, this person's having a moment, or this person's trying to accomplish their objective. Like, how do I respect that? How do I help in that? How do I support that?
How do I respect and enhance that?
Exactly. It's the yes-anding of like TTRPGs. I think a lot of people hear those words and they go, yeah, I know what that means. It means like whatever, but no, like it's it's legitimately, how do I help you get from point A to point B? That's what I want to do. And then finally, hey Noir, we just went to have fun. And then we had fun. I like I'm saying all this stuff like narrative and like meaningful moments and all that stuff. But like, if you've ever sat at my table, I have like 3 rules, and I use these rules as a player. Number 1, it's a game. We should be having fun. If we're not having fun, it's not worth it. Like, legitimately, like, let's load up a fucking video game, or you know what I mean? Like, it should be fun. We should be having fun.
If you're number 2 is there for the one player experience, just
go play like Zelda or some shit. Like, you can be the chosenest of ones and like save the day and be like the coolest. Like, they don't even give you words. You can like monologue while you like hunt for rupees or whatever. The 2 is the respect thing. And then 3 is like narrative over mechanics, narrative over system. Like, let's get fucking weird. Like, again, and I think you and I both embrace that in a lot of ways. And I think I thrive in a space where other players do too, because it's like, you can make a buck wild choice. You can say, hey, I'm Hal and I'm going to actually engage with this thing that I know is harmful. And it's like, and that's where the good story is going to be. That's where the fun is. I don't want to walk through this dungeon and not get hit and have no risk. That's not fun. Like, I'll just go outside and go for a walk. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're here to tell a story. We're here to have fun. Let's fucking do some shit.
Let's go, baby. I got hit points to spend.
Yeah, I got some cool moves I want to use. God damn it. Like, and not all of them are like punching. Some of them are like, get out of this fucking situation real quick. Like, yeah.
I have I've determined or created a name for something, which is the brand of characters that I know that I enjoy in parties when I'm GMing, and I know that I have a tendency of making, which I call the gridlock cutters, which is, if you've been at a table, there's just this collective, let's talk about every decision for 2 hours.
Let's mechanically handle the situation. Like, let's find the ideal scenario where if you give me 10 minutes, I can cast this spell and then you can use this effect and then we can completely neutralize the enemy without ever taking any damage. And it's like, or we can just fucking ask the NPC their name. Or we can engage with the story. How about that?
I love gridlock cutters because they come in different flavors. You've got your edgy boys, which is just like, I don't give a crap about what anybody thinks. I'm just gonna go. And then you just have your chaos warlords who just like, I'm gonna kick down the door while holding 2 fireworks.
Yeah.
These are usually
sometimes.
Yes, you are. These are character types that are often, some people would say, unpleasant to play with. Obviously you've already told us your thoughts on them. Why do you think that is an unpopular character type or character?
Well, again, I think there's ego involved, right? Like, one thing, so I've been that character. I've been the one there. It's like, we're standing around here talking about shit when we should be just like doing something, because the game won't move forward if we live in like what ifism, theory land of how can I apply the perfect mechanics to the situation. And I think it's important to like say, if that's the kind of game that folks like playing, hell yeah, like, go play that game. I am highly supportive of that. Like, if that's what you enjoy about TTRPGs, get it, like 100%. That's not my preference, but I think it's ego a little bit. Like, the challenging part with TTRPGs is that, like, oftentimes when a player makes a choice, it impacts the rest of the party. And a lot of people like don't like that. A lot of people like the control of I am in control of my environment. But it's so funny to me because you're coming to a table where literally it's dice rolls. Literally, it's chance that anything works out. So it's this weird exercising of control in a way that doesn't add up. But I think, like, if you can just let go if you can just accept that, like, we're here to tell a story together. Like, my character is here to find out who they're going to be with this party, with this group in this area. Like, again, if you have like a vision of your character being from point A to point B, brilliant. Write that shit down, post it on wherever the fuck, write a book, get a deal, go viral, all the things.
Get paid.
Get paid 100%. But like, it's different than what TTRPGs are. Like, I think there's like a little bit of misalignment of expectations. But I think, like, as a GM, I love those characters because they're the ones that are going to like push. They're the ones that are going to like, they're the ones. And it's so funny to me. And like, I think you can back this up, Noir. Like, those are the characters that get the big moments because they see it and they don't go like this and go, we're not going to interact with this until it's safe. They see the narrative moment, they see the narrative power, and they just step into it. They just embrace, like, this is the moment. Like, this is that big movie, like the shot of the hero standing on the precipice, like descending into the valley of death. Like, they step into it. And in books, you don't see, like, yeah, there are war table scenes, but that shit's like 5 minutes. Like, it's not like 4 fucking hours. Like, it's we're telling things. Step into the moment. And
you don't get dope action shots if you don't take any action.
If you don't take any risk, like I think there's this, courage is acting in uncertainty. You know what I mean? And like, the characters you're describing are brave. They're bold. They're like noble. They're all of these things that like we all want to be. The reason I think we tell stories, but like, you have to take the risk, and like, people don't want to, but they also play a game where you roll dice. Like, it just doesn't add up. It just
makes sense.
Make it make sense. But I think, yes, the comment, people are worried about winning the game. Like, that's not what TTRPGs are about. How do you win? Like, I think that's a moving target. That's a moving target for anybody. To me, winning, and like the bar, like even like as a GM with the Bard's Refrain, me winning was telling a story that mattered, that made you feel something and made you feel a part of something bigger. That's winning to me. Yeah. How do I quantify that in a like perfectly executed plan?
I think I would also add to it is the difference between like a good grid cutter, the grid cutter archetype where it's used in a good way and when it's used in a bad way, is when the grid cutter sacrifices other players' agency. Mm-hmm. Like when your edgelord undermines other players' choices and decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Give us an example of that. I want you to bring me deeper into that.
So, for example, when say your edgelord character wants to focus more on their moody backstory and pursuing their own goals than rather what the GM or what the other players have in mind for the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I think that
it's
happens.
That main character syndrome. It's kind of feeds back into that.
Yeah, and I think, like, from my perspective with that, the way you combat that is with curiosity. Okay, all right, so this is what you're doing. Why? What's going on here? Like, I have no problem, like, in character turning to that energy and saying, okay, but why? Like, if that's the focus, why are you here? If you don't want to interact with us and you don't want to be my friend or my colleague or whatever, why are you here? Like, make it make sense. And again, once you start to show that curiosity, I think a lot of that kind of breaks down because they have to, now they're thinking, why am I being this way? Like, why am I doing this? Like, and it's not going to work all of the time, but
9 times out of 10, they can also default to, well, it's what my character would do.
Oh my God. Here's the thing. I have such a love-hate relationship with that because like, I think there are powerful moments when it's like, guys, this is what my character would do. And the table is screaming like, fuck yeah, it is. Like, hell yeah. Like, do that thing, my guy, do that thing because that's what your character would do. But I think more often than not, it is what you're saying, Anita, like, I'm going to do this selfishly motivated thing that I know is going to be counterproductive to the party because I would like to be in the spotlight now. they're not being observant. They're not being open to the narrative. They're trying to punch their way to like being important. And it's like, no, dude, that'll happen naturally. Just like chill out. Like just become one with the narrative and that will happen. You don't have to force it, my guy. Just like take some time, take some deep breaths and like wait for those moments because 100% they're going to happen. They're going to happen.
Chill out. I drink a 7-Up, eat a moon pie.
I have a genuine I have a genuine question because now we're kind of getting into like the nitty-gritty of this and I think that there's some wiggle room here that we should discuss, which is what if a player character straight up tells the party like here are the issues that I've been having, you know, and they've grown over time and you can see that playing in the character development and then they take a step away with the intention of being brought back as a bonding moment. Is that being an asshole? Or is that like genuinely playing a character that feels alienated? Like where is the line there is what I wonder. Because I have seen some amazing moments where players have played assholes and the charm of it is that it's the character growth of it.
Yes.
So I'm very curious.
I think asshole characters are fun a little, like they are, because it's another wall to bounce ideas off of. Like that's what TTRPGs are. We're all just coming into a room. We've all got a bunch of racquetballs and we're just like throwing them at shit and like seeing what happens. And so when you have a different angled wall, like I'm kind of a dick, like there's different things. But again, I think that only works when you have the respect, the curiosity, and the fun built in. You know what I mean? Like, there is work and I don't even want to say that it's work, but it is like built in the front end. And I think like if you have a character that like has a level of growth that like it reaches like a different point. Like I'm gonna turn to like some like movie or like TV references because I think that'll work. Like Game of Thrones people like Jaime Lannister. Jaime Lannister is a shithead. He's the worst of the worst. And yet you watch as he like interacts with like Brienne and becomes like something different. You know what I mean? Like you begin to like empathize with this character. He begins to grow and show like change. And then the writers are like, fuck that shit. And they ruined it. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's that growth. He's an asshole. He's a dick. But like, his growth was like meaningful. Again, it's in the small, quiet things that like your story has meaning. Like watching characters, like it's Iron Man. It's all of these things where it's like Stark is an asshole. He gets thrown into like a situation and he changes. And if, to your point, you asked the question of like, if that character is like steps away or like their trajectory changes completely and they go out into the world, that's valid. It's a story. It can go wherever it wants. Like, are you honoring the character? Are you honoring the narrative that you like brought and the growth that's happened? I'm 10 out of 10 supportive of that because again, like I'm curious about the story that like you're telling. Like, I'm not going to mandate to you that like your asshole character has to be some kind of way. I have expectations about it. I expect that you'll come to the table respectfully. I expect that you'll like want to have fun with me. Like, I expect that you'll be curious about like what I have brought. But like, if I'm doing those things up front, the rest is going to be okay. And like, it will work out. Like, again, like asshole characters are fun, like, because they're assholes. Like,
and I think we could also like dig to that gooey center of exactly why are they that way,
right? Like the like fantastic like undoing of the ego of that character and getting down to the like hurt inner child or like whatever it is. Like once you get there, oh my god, all of the like good narrative like feels are just like it is a fertile land of like good narrative
we will
stories. And we will fucking thrive, my guy. We will feast for many moons. Like, it's going to be so good.
I love finding what pushes somebody that decides to be a hero over the brink. And like, one of the things that I wanted to explore in a game that I was in, that I ended up walking away from, was there was a character who was resurrected, essentially against their will. And like, that was the thing. That was the thing that was just like, well.
Right. Like, my story is different now. And I think somebody in chat made the comment of like communicating to the group. I think this is an ego thing. I think this is like all the things that I'm doing are the most interesting. Talk to your party, talk to your like friends that you're playing with and say, this is where I think I'm going with this character. Like, we have this idea where like, I'm so cool and interesting and I have all these secrets. Are your secrets interesting if nobody knows about them? Is what you're trying to do cool if literally no one else knows? No, they're not. Tell them where you want to go.
And here's something that I think is terribly important, which is honor safety tools. If somebody is throwing up with a question mark and you are uncertain about something, you have to let them know.
Yes.
What triggers the conversation of here's where I think this is going is if there is some hesitation. Because if everybody's just like, oh, everything that's happening is great, then what are you, the player, supposed to think? Like,
exactly.
Oh, everything that's happening is okay.
Yes.
So it's just like, if the safety tools exist for a reason,
use them.
If you don't mean them, don't put them out there. That's like saying, you know, there was a green light, but you were supposed to stop because I felt like you were supposed to stop.
Right.
I threw the green light up, but it was a red. That's a horrible situation for everybody involved to find themselves.
Sets everyone up for failure. Exactly.
So,
like, so the Bard's Refrain, right? Like, we ran for over a year. We were running freaking, like, I think we had one session that was like nearly 8 hours long. Like, we went hard with the Bard's Refrain. And one of the things that I'm really proud of us as a storytelling collective is that, like, we had characters that were kind of assholes. We had characters that, like, on paper would not want to interact with the party, would not want to align with like the party motives, would not care or be interested in the other characters. But like, we had as a table, we had the back end set up where it was like, we're going to have fun, we're going to be respectful, and we're going to tell a good story. Those were the motivators. And like, eventually those asshole characters came around. They made choices that impacted the entire party, or, you know, it went in some kind of way. But like, you know, you and I have talked about this, like Rael's character, like Rael made some big narrative choices that were very spur of the moment, because you and I are very much like that. Like, what's the thing that makes sense in this moment? Go. And like, we ended up having like a whole like romantic interest for Rael. We didn't sit down and you weren't just like, hey, by the way, I'm wife shopping, so like, just let me know which NPCs are like the cutest. Like, there was a moment where it was like, ping, like, here's this thing that's happening. And then we both, like, you were like, hey, like, you pitched it out in RP, and I was like, yup. And then we just respectfully like went through it and like did the thing, and it was beautiful and sweet, and one of my favorite things I've ever, like, it was just, oh, so stinking cute. But like, again, it was because we were operating from a place of like lack of ego, respect. We wanted to have fun, like all of those things. Like, we didn't have to have the like, all right, so here's all of the things that are okay or not okay, because we did the groundwork first.
Right.
You know?
And that's kind of what I mean when I tell people to find the table that they fit at. Because I'm seeing a lot of people in chat that are just like, you know, having a conversation with your DMs, like, you know, kind of run down what your plan for your character is. And I am 100% improv based. I literally do not know what my plan for my character is. So I don't know what's happening with them until I play. So I can tell you that I have not really ever talked to any of my GMs about character paths. That
you don't know where it's gonna go.
That and also like DMs mad freak me out. Like I've been on record explaining this 1,000 times. So like if I'm at a table where like, hey, we need to run down what the character paths are, chances are I'm gonna walk away from that table because that's not how I function.
Right.
Like
right. But I think that's valid. So I legitimately don't think like if you're at a table and you're like vibing and then you're not vibing, there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, I don't think this is like working out for me. I'm going to take a step back. I think that's the most respectful thing you can do because you're not trying to like force someone's game to be something that it's not. I'm not going to go to a mechanics heavy game where they are doing like that perfect situation and be like, but I want to RP about how cool my bard is. Like that's bullshit. Let them play their game. Go do your thing. I'm just going to go over here and like there's room for everybody. I'm just going to go over here and do my bullshit.
I think the idea is that if you have a plan, is that if you do have like a specific plan and a vision in mind, communicate that. And if you don't, then make sure that you're still like using the safety tools in place to communicate like, hey, is this what the direction that I'm going is here? Is that okay with everybody? This is what narratively makes sense for my character.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's why I put such a heavy onus on the safety tools because like as somebody that's like always kind of on the seat of their pants with their own characters, the only way that I know that what's happening is okay is by checking in as it occurs or as it's about to occur. Because I never went into Bars for Frame going, here's what Rael's going to do today. Like, no,
how could you? You had no idea what I was going to throw at you. Like, how could you do that? You know what I mean? But again, there's that respect that's like instilled. And we've got a lot of people like, you know, like talking about making sure that like, you have an idea of like what's going to happen or if it's going to be like party breaking or whatever, you give a heads up, like 1,000% yes. But I think understanding the people that you're playing with, and to your point, choosing tables that work for you, like finding out what kind of game is it that you want to play and who do you want to play with. Like I've sat at a wide variety of tables, and there are some tables I just did not belong at. And that is not an indication of like moral character or fortitude, or like it doesn't make those people like assholes or anything. It just means the kind of vibe and flavor I bring was not cohesive, conducive to theirs. And like, it's okay to recognize that. Like, it's okay to be like, hey, I love what you're doing. I think that's great. Not for me. I'm gonna go over here and tell some fart jokes with my character Steve. What's up, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just recognize it. Like,
recognize that not every table is right for you, and you're not right for every table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is an inclusive space. This is a place where everyone belongs, but they belong in different ways.
They're sweet and they're savory, you know? Like,
yeah, man. 100%. Yes.
Don't put gravy in my ice cream. That's gross.
Your fun is wrong. Like, yeah, like people's fun isn't wrong. It's just different. Like, as long as it comes from a place of respect and kindness, I don't think there's anything wrong with like different ways to have fun. But you have to have that baseline of like, I'm going to be a cool dude. It's the McElroy rules, the 3 Midnight Amendments I live my life by. Come on, be cool, nice. Like, that's the vibe. That's the vibe.
I mean, I cannot stress enough. Seriously, if you're at a table and you're not having fun,
it's not worth it.
Leave.
It's not worth it.
Kind of what Honor just said is when he was in a game with you for Andor, you were an absolute jerk who was good deep down, but every single time you were about to do something that was jerk-like, you telegraph your moves.
Yes.
I mean, again, I like playing assholes. It's really fun. I think I worked out something personally. Like, I remember that character. That was Vala, my ASMR cleric or something like that. In with ASMR, fuck it. So I have some mental issues, and one of the things that I have is like I have on occasion heard shit in my head, and it's uncomfortable. And so ASMR, according to lore, they have an angel guardian that's always in their ear, kind of telling them like, hey, go out there, be a hero, go out there, do the right thing, go out there. And so in my mind, ASMR have to deal with this fucking thing in their head every day, forever. They can't just be a guy. They like, the angel wants them to serve the purpose of whatever deity that angel serves. And so this dude was a paladin. Vala reluctantly would do what the angel wanted, but he would stay drunk because being drunk was the only thing that shut that voice out.
Yes.
And you know, in Andor, we had some moments where characters would ask about it and it was hinted at. Mm-hmm. And if Andor had continued, that would have been,
they showed that curiosity in your story.
That would have been a trauma that would have been further explored.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff I hate characters that are just like, I'm walking into this adventure and everything's okay with me. I'm never going to play that guy because there's nothing but shit that's wrong with me. And that's why I love characters that come in a little bit broken and a little bit socially awkward, so that they can grow from that. If you are already Captain America when you start playing, then what the fuck are we playing the game for?
Well, that's the thing. Is like, what mentally stable person leaves their home and their family to go out and kill monsters?
Okay, well, now hold on. That's a Liam O'Brien play, and I hate that with a passion. And like, I made a character to spite that named Drestel.
Yeah,
Drestel had his shit together, and he went out on an adventure literally only to help his friend. That's it.
I love that. But still, there's going to be like, even that, right? Like, what happens if that character loses their friend? There's still uncertainty in that character's story. And like, I think oftentimes people can confuse like my character's so like tragic or has all of this stuff. It's like, no, your character has a lot of uncertainty. Yeah, your character has a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of open-ended questions in your character's life that like need answers. And going on this adventure, in theory, will find those answers. It'll close those plot holes. It will close those like moments, those chapters in your character's life. If your character's book is already written, if the story's already told, what's the point? Yeah, what's the point? Like, if you're just here to be a lean, mean, goblin killing machine, like it's a valid vibe, and that fun is cool. I don't understand it.
And Bo also brought up a valid point: is that the fun of Captain America is that he still has to struggle to be a good person when the world is morally gray.
Yeah, and Werewolf asked, "Can you have your shit together and still have issues?" And the thing with Drestel is Drestel had his shit together and was a good person, but Drestel was also a shifter. And the way that I play shifters is that they have the hunger of the beast inside them. And so he had to manage that, which again, I relate to my own personal issues of like, I have things that are wrong with me, but I can't use them as an excuse to be a dickhead. I still have to function in the world. Right. So like, you can have things that you can have, you know, ailments or disabilities and still function, because that's what being a person is. That's like, we had Sam on
that's
here. That's
life.
And Sam was introducing an entire new world of subcultures that people make because that's just the way it is, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, that's life, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the thing about life is it just keeps happening to you. Like you can come to terms with something and be like, yep, I have resolved this issue or this neurosis or whatever. Like I have effectively managed this chaos. And then life's like, I'm still happening. And like, that's how characters, I think that's how interesting, dynamic, meaningful characters work. Life still happens to them. You can have your shit together and still be a character, but like life is still happening around you. New problems, new ideas, new concepts are going to just like be at you. And like creating and playing a character who responds to those and is dynamic is, again, like at the end of the day, for me, like I'm a storyteller. Hi, my name's Sarah. I read way too many books as a kid. I wanted to be a writer. I was an English lit major until I dropped out. Like stories is what I'm here
Squash.
for. Yeah. Yeah. Like it just like that's where the passion is, you know? And like this is a collaborative storytelling space. So if my story's already written and I don't intend to tell it with other people, why the fuck am I playing TTRPGs? Like I don't get it. I think it's valid. It's just not, something that I, Sarah, 0SarahXFrank0, seek out. I want to tell good stories. I want my stories to matter. I want to feel stuff and I want to go there. So when you bring a moody broody character that's like, yeah, I got some shit, I'm going to be like, do you know? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about it now? Like, let's talk about it now. And they're like, no, we're going to talk about it in like 50 episodes. I'm like, are we though? Because like that's the other thing too, is like when characters are like, I'm so interesting and we're never gonna talk about it.
That's why I made the Ari, the ship's counselor NPC for Star Trek Adventures, mostly because I just want to like start pulling away at the threads that make your character characters.
Yes,
and it's already started.
I know, it was so good. It was so good because it's like, it's as a GM, you've just magically been like, and we're going there. Like as a GM, use your NPCs to force your players to tell their secrets. Do it because like, it's literally the best thing. And then what it does is it fosters curiosity from the rest of your players because they go, wait, what the fuck's that about though? And then they're trying to think how their character can interact with that other character in a way to like have that conversation. And now you have magic. You have magic at your table now. Why would you not want magic?
Takes notes. Yes, that was Ari's. Yes. That's Ari's style. That's 100% their style.
Good. Yes.
So I think that you just kind of brought us into the flip half of it, which we talked a lot about the responsibility of the player. Mm-hmm. Now we're getting into the responsibility of the GM. And I think that one of the hardest things about being a GM, and one of the things that quickly poisons a game, is as GMs, or as a GM myself personally, if I were to be completely honest, I am in love with like a few of my characters or a few of my players' stories.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And so like the natural inclination to just want to drive their story is there. Mm-hmm. But you have to remember that you have a table full of people that all show up to have their stories told too. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of have to spread that love evenly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think all too often, I know at some tables that I've sat at, it's just like, I'm here to be here and my story will be told one day, I guess. And like,
and that's the worst.
That's
sad.
That kind of sucks.
It doesn't. No, I'm going to fix that sentence. That sucks. There's no kinda about it. That sucks.
I mean,
100%.
Like, has that been an experience that we've all shared, or is that like, I'm very curious as to what everybody's thoughts are on that.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been in games where the GM is not as much interested in like exploring the stories of the characters and more exploring their own stories, for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know what's worse. Like the GM overindulging in their own story or overindulging in the story of one or two people at the table. I think what's more upsetting is when the GM completely like head dives into one or two players' stories.
The DM's pet.
Yeah.
I have some opinions. So I'm interrupting.
Honestly, as someone who has been in that position of being the DM's pet, it is not a comfortable position to be in.
No, absolutely not. So I'm gonna plug something cool that I do. Once a month, I have a similar vibe, Murder and Coffee, which is a GM talk show where we talk about just like games specifically from the GM's perspective. Because I'm of the opinion that like being a GM is a whole thing, and it's like GMs don't talk to each other. Like we do, but we don't. Because again, we're like trying to keep our secrets and stuff like that. And I think GMs need to converse more about what works at tables, what doesn't work at tables, sharing resources, like leaning on each other's expertise. And so like Murder and Coffee, it's great. If you're interested, you can find it on YouTube. But I think like
check it out. You and Luca are great.
Sorry. Yeah, Luca is my co-host, and she's amazing. But I think like it's a lot of the stuff we've already said, right? Like if you have as a GM, and this is something I was real nervous about for the Bard's Refrain. It's like I think I have a cool story. I think I have like something that's interesting and dynamic and just like a little bit different. And I have the story that I want to tell. Here comes the but I want to tell it with this party. Like if your story, if you are obsessed with your story and you think it's great and you want it to be just so, write it down, get it published. Congratulations, you have written a book. I'm very, very proud of you, and I will celebrate and shout your success from the mountains. Like 100% amazing. But that's not what TTRPGs are about. There's uncertainty, there is risk, there is change. And like, if you, the GM, like if you're the GM, your responsibility, in my opinion, is to make sure that like, number one, everyone's having fun. It's a game. It should be fun. Number two, that you're respectful. And if you have characters that like you're not engaging with at all, or PCs whose backstory you're not pulling in, or you're not like doing the thing, like maybe check on that. Because like, why is that? I legitimately think there can be reasons why that's happening. Sometimes like players just don't give the GM anything to work with. Legitimately, here's my secrets. I will keep them forever. I've 100% been at tables where I'm like, hey bud, like I'm gonna bounce the ball to you and like see what happens. And they're like, shield, like, nope, nothing. I got nothing for you. And it's like, all right, I'll check back next session then, I guess. Like some people don't engage. And like, if that's the case, I think that the respectful kind of thing to do would be like a check-in, like, hey bud, like we're doing this thing. I noticed that we're not really engaging in your character story. Is that on purpose? Is there something I can do to support your narrative? Like being a GM is work. It takes energy, it takes time. And like absolutely there's some like characters or some players that make that job easier. Celebrate them, be excited about them, but use that momentum to make sure everybody else is involved. Use that power. Like there's a lot of cool stuff going on over here. How do I tie my less engaged player into it? How do I use this magic and fire to like help this thing over here? Like we're all better together. We're more dynamic. We're more interesting when we're all involved. So how do I make that happen? Be curious. And I think a lot of the times people don't.
Yeah, that's kind of why I've started implementing stars and wishes into the games that I run.
Yes, I love that you do that.
At the end of our Star Trek Adventures game, I'll make sure that we go through the list and we do stars and wishes, and I write them down. So that way I remember, this is something that they liked. We can give them a little bit more of that. This is something that they want to go for. We're going to start tying that into the narrative too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just checking in on Vancouver by Night's point, which is some people just kind of want to have like a dungeon run type of campaign where they just want to sit around and hit stuff.
Valid.
That's again, it comes back to understanding the table that you're at
Yeah.
And if it's not the right table for you, then walk it away. Because personally, like that's not my form of entertainment. I'm very much a story sloot. And so like if I were a story sloot and I found myself in a game where people just want to whack monsters, I mean that's fine for them, but I'm probably gonna bail.
I'm gonna celebrate that kind of gameplay as well, because I think that there's a creativity there of like min-maxing and like creating like the most efficient murder machine. Like that shit gets wild. Like I look at some people's like character builds and I'm like, how the fuck? And they're like, well, listen, if you take this feat at this level and you do all these things, you can create like an absolute fucking monster. And I think that is real neat. Like
problems with stat blocks.
Yes, like it's legitimately, yes. Like I literally can't be hit ever, and let me tell you why. Like I think that shit's dope as hell. Like that's super duper cool. And then like to see like the efficiency that can bring is truly inspiring. Like it absolutely is. It's a lot of fun to see and do. I'm bad at that. Like I Sarah don't take enjoyment from that. However, that is a skill set that is neat and absolutely belongs in this space 100%. I celebrate that and I think it's phenomenal. I think that those tables are important and should exist. My focus is always going to be, but how do I unlock the crying that lives in my chest all the time? I want to go to there. Like it's just different. It's just different.
How
like
do I
one
get
is
to
not
the
better than
feel
the other.
zone?
How do I feel all the feelings in my body simultaneously?
And now
like, I would like to do that.
Now if you can engage the feels while in combat.
Oh my God. I want the like, when even as a GM, like I see games as if it were like a shot, like a scene. Like when I'm prepping, like most of the time I'm like, how do I make this scene that's in my head happen? How do I get to that? Like, that's what I want. I want the narrative feel. I want the swelling music and the like lens flare in the background. Like, I want that. How do I make that happen? And so like, that's the high I'm chasing. Other people are like, how can I do the maximum damage that a character could possibly do? Both are very cool. Both are very valid. Both of them have a place in the TTRPG community. But making sure that like, you're not trying to, I'm not going to try and force somebody to like go on that like cinematic journey with me. And I would hope that they're not going to try and force their stat blocks like down my throat. Like they're both valid, but they do not have to be at the same table if they don't vibe. That's okay. That is a-okay. It's going to be fine. You can think that like, I don't know, Leonardo is the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's fine. You're wrong. But you can do that. It's Donatello. It's fucking Donatello. Fight
you're
me.
Right.
It is
Fight
Donatello.
Me. Donatello best TM. It's just absolutely 110%.
One of the things that I think that I learned that it has been extraordinarily helpful is I try to make sure that everybody has a cinematic moment in all of my games. Like everybody should have at least one walking away from the explosion while putting on sunglasses type moment out of every session. And what really brought that up for me is that I've been running the same campaign setting for the last 20 years. And one of the things that I grew very cognizant of is that there is a lot of lore that I know and that a lot of my friends know. And so very early on, games were so full of wink nods that it alienated new players. And I find that is a lesson that not everyone has learned in GMing. So have you ever played a game that has existed before you where you felt alienated because of like wink nods and playing more to nostalgia than to the people at the table?
I'm really lucky in this because I haven't, and I have a great example. I'm gonna hype some of my really cool TTRPG friends, if that's okay.
Oh no, anything but that.
Oh no. So at the beginning or I guess the end of 2020, I joined a game that runs on Nat 20, and you should absolutely check it out. It's on Sundays. It's called Morningstar and Company. It's run by DMF Saint, and they had been playing for over a year and a half. And Saint asked, oh shit, now I've been exposed. Now everybody knows that I'm actually a troll. Yeah, so Saint invited me to come sit at that table, and they had just completed a full Curse of Strahd run through. Like this party had been through this shit, and then I was just gonna like show up and do the thing, I guess. And I was like really nervous about exactly what you're saying. Like, I'm not going to be able to like connect. There's too much history here. It's all going to be like wink winks. Like, this is going to be a challenge. Like, this is going to be difficult. And I sat down at that table and immediately felt like home, because the players at that table, like, understood the assignment. Here's a person who's coming to play with us. We have to engage with them and bring them in. You know what I mean? Like, there's no such thing as a cool kids club at a table. We're all in the club. That's how tables work. Like, we are all cool kids. And so like, if there was something that like I didn't get, like, and I could address like in character, like behind in the DMs to be like, hey, like, can we address that? Or it was the communication part that we're all like talking about, like in the chat of like, hey, what's going on? Like, my character would just be like, what the fuck is this? And everybody, yes, they would have that wink, wink, nod, nod, nudge, nudge. And I would just be like, hey, what was that? And they'd be like, oh, let us tell you. There was no like, you had to be there. Like, there's no fucking mean girls. Like, if you're gonna mean girl, like, don't invite that person to play. Like, don't like, what a mind fuck that is. I'm gonna invite this person so I can exclude them. How do you have that level of energy for anything in your life, my guy? Like, I can barely like put pants on, and yet you're fucking mind gaming the shit out of like an imaginary game. Like, who are you? Like, how do you have that energy? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I'm laughing at two things. One, that's very accurate and hilarious, and two, like, we unknowingly sparked an entire fucking war in the chat right now.
I know. Are they fighting about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
They really are.
Werewolf is sacrificing himself by like trying to create peace. Like, there's a whole storyline playing out in the chat. Oh wait, we have chat on the VOD, so you can see it. Awesome.
Very good. Listen. It's okay. It's okay. Your opinions are valid. I get it. Like, I'm supportive of your life, but like, my boy Donnie is just.
I was gonna say it's kind of like Pokemon in that respect, that every turtle is someone's favorite turtle, with the exception of Venus and Milo.
Sip.
Wait, what did you say?
I said every turtle is someone's favorite turtle, with the exception of Venus to Milo.
Oh, so good.
Which is a reference to the late 90s, early aughts live action TV show.
Yeah. I'm going to say that the most interesting character in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles isn't the turtle at all, but it's actually Casey. Fight me.
That's valid. 100%. 100%. Let's talk about it. This like, come on, man. We don't have time. There's no time. Different stream.
Check out our new podcast, Turtle Talks.
Oh, hell. You want to talk about turtles? We talk about every single kind of turtles. What happens when a turtle's upside down? That we're going to talk about it.
There's a button on my soundbar that is
I know there
everything in me.
Do not press that button.
Press it, you coward. Press it, you coward.
You see why Anita is a bad influence on me? Because I do shit and then I'm the bad guy for doing
the bad guy.
Cowabung us. Oh my, you know what? For that shitty pun, we're getting the button. I didn't want to do this, and this is all Anita's fault.
Yeah, I just think it's really important that you respect other people and their opinions.
Hey, that turtle got stamina.
Damn it, Noir. There, that has united us all away from that conversation.
I have brought peace and prosperity to my new empire.
Your new empire.
Amazing.
Don't make me kill you.
Amazing. 10 out of 10. I love it here. You guys have room for like I can just be like a gremlin in the corner forever now, right? Like you'll just like, and here's like, it's like everybody has like a cat cam, it'll just be Sarah cam, and it's just me like
we'll just put you
being
like
very
over
happy
in this corner next to chat, like on the other side. There'll just be a little Sarah peeking up.
Yeah, I'll just be like, hey, what's up,
the
chat?
gremlin corner. All right, so
yes, hit the gremlin. I'll just come in, put up all the things. I will hydrate with my massive water bottle. Here we go.
Then there's Bright trying to bring the war back. God damn it. So there are
just
questions.
It's time to press the button again.
God damn it, will you? This is on you. This is on you, not me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, get it, girl. Get it.
So to steer this train back on the tracks.
Okay, I guess if you have to.
There are questions that we have to ask.
Okay.
And you know, look, I've talked to you a bunch, Sarah, and I've played in a bunch of games with you, and I genuinely don't know the answer to this question, so I'm very afraid.
Oh, I'm excited. What is it?
In the TTRPG community, there is a war between those of us who think that, between those that think dice are forbidden candies and should be crunched, and those of us that think that dice don't belong in your mouth, Goofy, that it's a choking hazard and it'll destroy your teeth. So we're called to stop the crunchers. So we need to know, Sarah,
which side of this do I fall on?
Which side of this war are you on?
This is a good question, because I understand the allure. Like they're bright, they're shiny. Often they have like fun little swirls that you like want to investigate with your mind space. And like legitimately, like I mean, like little babies, right? They're like, how do I learn everything I can about this object? I'm gonna put it in my mouth. I get that. But I'm gonna say no crunch. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no crunch, because
we
like,
out here.
Like I look, because definitively I look at like a D20 and I go, yeah, sure, that's cool, but like I know that like I'm not gonna get what I want from that. You know what I mean? It's just like you just look at it and you're like, the satisfaction that I'm hoping to get from that is not gonna happen. I'm a fidgeter. Like I 100% like, my thing is like, why crunch when you can just like fiddle, like run your fingers over the like the edges of like the die and everything. Like that's infinitely more satisfying than like, what? Like then no, don't, guys, stop putting weird shit in your mouth. Stop. I love you. I love you, but like just fiddle. Like why crunch when you can fiddle? There you go.
Suck it, Bright. Suck it.
I was the chosen one. Yeah, and I chose right. I'm sorry. Like,
oh, get wrecked. You Bright.
Yeah,
I'm
like
so happy right
listen,
now.
I feel like I let a bunch of people down, but like here's the thing, like if that's the tactile response that you need to like get you where you're going,
hey, don't backtrack.
Listen, I'm a cheerlead them, but when we come to the field battle, I'm gonna tell you no, and I'm gonna throw my dice at you because yours are in your fucking mouth, so I'm gonna have like the advantage. Fuck off.
That's right, we ready for war.
And if you're relying on me to bring balance to anything, you have misunderstood. Clearly, you did not read my bio. That's not what I'm here for.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. Okay, we've got other clusters that we need to. Oh, you look like you have thoughts, Anita. What's up?
Oh no, it's just my brain went in a different direction when you said you're ready for war and you pressed the button. I wasn't expecting the explosion sound to come out.
Yeah, the Inception sound, it's become my new thing.
I love it.
When I interrupt people, I give them a countdown to let them know I'm about to interrupt them, and then I interrupt them. It's great.
It's the best thing. It's my favorite thing in the world. I like it a whole bunch.
I was expecting like you to accidentally press the turtle button again.
That would be hilarious.
You want me to press
We're ready
that turtle
for war.
again?
That's where my brain went in that moment.
This is why I'm glad you don't have the turtle button, because I'm certain you would abuse it. Like, okay, time out real quick. Like, this is where we break the fourth wall, and I'm going to talk to you directly, audience. Everybody thinks that I'm the chaos lord of this show. Everybody thinks that I'm the one that's causing trouble and fighting the audience and doing all this kind of shit. You need to understand that the true mastermind of all this shit is Anita. Anita uses me like a puppet to be like the shield, but really the one that's causing all of the chaos is this one right here. This one.
What if you did tell the dick joke, Noir? What if you did it? I'm just gonna set you up here.
And listens.
Dick joke? I don't know any dick jokes. I'm pure as the driven snow. I'm chaste.
Wait, is this what I think it is? Werewolf.
What?
Oh, we have it.
Hashtag blame Noir.
Hashtag Noir vented. Actually, do I still have that one?
No, see, what are you doing?
I don't have that
Anita,
command
stop.
anymore. I had a command previously in chat that said Bright vented.
Bright did vent. Everybody knows that.
You now own.
That's loud. Oh, it is exactly the video that I thought it was.
What is it?
Good.
It is the classic Canadian puppet sketch. Don't you put it in your mouth?
Thank you. Don't put dice in your mouth. Okay,
I might.
Iago to Noir's Othello.
Don't put it. You just keep the weird shit out your mouth, mate. It's not. Nah.
Don't do it. It's gross. It's gross. Hey, can I just say, Bo, I love that you just pulled the Othello reference. Othello was the only Shakespearean play I ever did, and I loved it. I loved it.
Amazing.
Doesn't Othello die at the end?
I mean, yeah, but I got to kill me a white girl on stage, and it was great. That's right. I took it down, baby.
There's a joke here that I want to make so bad, but we're gonna whoop that away. Ask me more questions. I'll tell you more lies.
Wait, does that mean that you are a cruncher?
No, absolutely not. I have self-respect. It's gonna keep getting worse.
Yes, we bucket shots. Fuck you, crunchers.
Sarah, and I just say I say what I think is the funniest thing to say a lot of the time. I respect you all as people, and I value as friends. It's gonna be
Sarah's walking home.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
So, here's another question that we have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you get to play any TTRPG. You can play any TTRPG in existence with any 5 people that are alive right now. You get to choose who is the GM. Who are you playing with? We've had people choose like Michelle Obama, Beyonce, Elvira, Dolly Parton. Like, who would you pick?
So, oh gosh, this is a big question, and my brain's just like screaming at me now because, like, particularly like I'm in a phase of like, it's funny because I think it goes back to what we were talking about. I'm in a phase of like, I only play with people that I like. I'm over like trying to force myself to fit at a table that I wouldn't. But if I'm crafting like people that I would want to play with, Justin McElroy is a big one for me. That's like a TTRP dream for me, is to sit at a table with Justin McElroy.
Oh, you mean the guy that has me blocked on Twitter?
How could he? Why would he do that? I don't like that. But I do. Yeah. I think Justin, don't be like that, man. Just play
that.
Why? Just play a game with me, Justin.
It's because
I'm just kidding. I love Justin McElroy. It just hurts my feelings.
Yeah, I would love. Yeah, I would love to play with Justin. I think his approach to characters is just delightful. He makes Chaos Lords, and they are drivers. Like and I love them. Like Duck. I could write a fucking like essay on why Duck is like just a fucking genius. Like the character arc of that character fills me with nothing but joy. Justin McElroy is a big one. Gosh.
I've never watched any of the Adventure Zone. I only know Justin McElroy from
My Brother, Me. Oh God, the Dimension. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, he that's my sense of humor.
Good.
He just makes the most absurd jokes that just absolutely destroy me. His sense of humor like is me as a person, like it absolutely destroys me. So Justin McElroy, Christoph Waltz, the actor, I would fucking
ooh,
that's a great voice.
Yeah, dude, that would just like I'd die. I'd literally crawl in a hole and I die. But like that person, he would be a fucking powerhouse, and it would like change my life forever, and I would be better for it. I'm like trying to think of like across the board. Oh my God. If I could play with Robin McKinley, who is an author. She wrote The Hero and the Crown and The Blue Sword and just a whole other slew of books that like she's one of my author heroes. That would be phenomenal. Neil Gaiman would be another one. That would be so fucking lit. Oh my God. Like I would not be okay. I would not be okay. That would be everything.
Keep going.
I know. I only have one more. So I'm trying to be thoughtful about this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, that book is so good, Noir.
And it's signed.
You son of a bitch! That book is so good. It's so good. I love that book, and I could go on for many minutes about it. And it's alive now. Oh gosh. I'm gonna say the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's amazing.
What's it like to have a world leader that gives a shit about her people?
Yeah,
and is actually competent.
Yeah, she'd be delightful. Like it would just be like she would bring the like organization that like a table like that would require. Like those, I think those are some of my
be a good note taker.
Yeah, like I think she would just be amazing in all of the ways. So I think that I would fill it with like people who make the world a better. Table. They make the world a better place with their creativity and their empathy. Those are the kind of tables I want to sit at. I want it to be about we're making something that matters and means something. And I would want like there's like Mimi tables, right? Where you're like, I want to sit at a table with T-Pain. Like absolutely, that would be amazing. But
I
like,
want to sit at a table with 4 Vin Diesels.
4 Vin Diesels. Okay, but like legitimately, like playing a fucking D&D game with Vin Diesel, like Luda, like the cast of Fast and Furious.
I would cry out of happiness.
That would be amazing. That would be so. For those of you who don't know, hi, I'm a massive Fast and Furious fan, and I ran 2 Fast and Furious games.
I'll never forgive you for not inviting me to that.
You're so busy. You're so busy.
I don't care.
Busy. I love you so many. But like if here's the thing about Fast and Furious, you always have to add someone new every movie. So
can I be Hobbs, the dude that like comes in and is just like, I'm gonna arrest all of you, and then Vin Diesel's like, I don't feel under arrest, and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna arrest you anyway. And Lucas at each other.
Lucas got the Hobbs down, but you could absolutely take the Shaw-bit. You could be that Jason Statham like coming in hot. Like it would be amazing. It would be amazing.
That means we and Luca need a one shot where we just be shitty to each other.
Yes.
Fighting Idris Elba. I love it.
Yes.
I would also like to be a part of this as like the female love interest who dies and then is brought back later in the episode for with no explanation.
Yes, girl. You're speaking my language.
I want to die in like the first half, and then I want to I want to be gone at like for the second part of the and then after the third break.
Yep, I'm back again.
I'm back
again. You gotta show
I'm back again. I have amnesia. I don't know who anyone is, but like I look at Vin Diesel's necklace and I go, I feel things deeply.
I have this.
That's the pool of family.
You always come back to family.
Yeah, let's go back. That's
I don't got friends. I don't got friends. One last ride. One last job. My favorite. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna pop off about this. Let's talk about the character Mia for like 2 seconds. Like the sister character. Every fucking movie, it starts out like Mia's not in this life anymore. She's like got kids and shit, and she's like doing the thing. And then they bring her back mid-session. She's like, I couldn't leave family. And I'm like, Mia, what the fuck you doing here in your mom jeans? Get the fuck out. And she's
Brian's
like, no.
Brian's watching the kids.
Brian's fucking watching the kids. It was like
Brian is the babysitter. Just the wildest way to honor Paul Walker.
It's like
Brian would be such
kiss.
a good stay-at-home dad.
It's the best thing, y'all. If you aren't watching Fast and Furious, you're like you're not living your best life.
I don't trust people who don't like Fast and Furious. Like when people are like, they went to space, like that's so played out. I'm like,
they fucking put Luda in a rocket and they sent him to space. Like
with Tyrese.
With fucking Tyrese. Are you kidding me?
They sent the brothers to space in a fucking Pinto.
It was so good. It was so good.
That's the thing is, I think it's I think the appeal of the Fast and Furious movies it is a D&D world where the GM has homebrewed so much without balancing any of it.
Yes, that's the kind of table I want to sit at. Like that's what I want. It's weird.
The thing is, it started off like a grim, dark, underground racing campaign.
They were stealing DVD
Session 1,
players.
I was stealing DVD players. Session 2, let's go down the streets of this city with a magnetic fucking tank of a machine that is pulling cars hither and yon.
It's basically
in its wake.
It's basically the DM came in with a very like serious story, but the players just kept wilding out and the roles worked.
And there's
so the DM
leaned
into it.
How did you know that car was going to be there? I didn't. Like, it's just good. That guy rolled a nat 20 on his acrobatics check, and that's why his spine isn't shattered into a billion pieces.
They're catching people with cars. They are catching people with cars.
Yes. And I'm here for it. I love it so many. Bo, I'm gonna need you to stop everything. We have a new life plan for you, and that's to watch all of the movies. Can we watch all the movies?
If you can't turn off your cynicism for 2 hours and just enjoy motherfuckers doing kung fu with cars.
Car fu. They're literally doing car fu.
I don't know what to tell you.
They're catching people with their spoilers. Like they're really like drifting and the edges of their spoilers are like pressing like the on-off button for the like nuclear bomb. Like it's just, oh my God. It's just so good. It's so good.
They fought a submarine with cars.
They blocked a nuclear blast with their cars, therefore saving Vin Diesel. Like it was. That's not how physics works. That's not how physics work.
Through like 8 walls, and like that just gives me a joy. Like
I'm sorry. Yeah, do you not want to see Jason Statham with a crowbar and Vin Diesel with just a length of rebar just going fucking at it in a collapsing parking lot, like parking like structure, like and have Vin Diesel yell the line, "You brought a gun to a street fight."
Your mistake was thinking this was America. This is Brazil, like with a shitty Brazilian accent, and then everybody in the crowd has a gun. Yes,
it's just very good. And so Brian mentioned like I ran these Fast and Furious games because like that's the thing is like I feel like this is why I'm Sarah. I'm an inconsistent idiot. Like I'm talking like it's really important to have all these narrative whatever's on the other side. pure chaos improv games where I don't know like what's going to happen next. Oh my God. It's the best. Like it's like my Fast and Furious, like I showed up, I had like a core concept of like, this is the things that we need to do, go. Like I've run completely random games where it's literally like, I'm just rolling like a generator that like gives me a prompt. I'm like, that's the game we're running. And like, that's it. And we're just goofing till the end. For the second Swift and Vicious game that I ran, the only notes I had were tractor beam. That's it. Tractor beam. If you don't think that I had my BBEG trying to move satellites with tractors and their GPS coordinates, like you don't know who I am. Like, like it was just stupid. It was just stupid. And like, there's again, like stupid creativity for stupid creativity's sake is delightful. Like, just give me the goofs. I just want to laugh until I can't breathe.
I just want to mention that the Pinto that was equipped with a rocket that sent Ludacris and Tyrese to space was put together by Little Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow was my favorite addition from the worst movie in that series.
Best movie. You stop. Tokyo Drift is.
Don't try to tell me that 30-year-old was a 17-year-old child.
Listen,
it's
fuck
amazing.
You. That movie started off with the main character getting sent to Japan because he had a street race with the guy from Home Improvement, and they fucked up a construction site. It's the greatest goddamn fucking movie franchise of all time.
Bow Wow's like tripped out vehicle is literally a Hulk-based car with a foot imprint like exploding out the side of the car. Like,
I will give Tokyo Drift, the cars and like the set pieces and everything in Tokyo Drift were great. I just could not stand the main character because like you cannot tell me that Widow's Peak that is like the hairline that is struggling for dear life is a 17-year-old.
See, here's what you need. Here's how you need to look at it. Tokyo Drift was a one shot that the GM had to put together because the rest of the party couldn't make it. It's And so he was just like, all right, we're just going to come up with some side characters. We're just going to do a quick one shot. And then they brought the characters back in the latest
only that. Okay, sorry, we're going to get real nerdy. Not only that, they like tied it into the overall timeline and lore of Fast and Furious in like a meaningful way. Like that shit matters. Like the end of it's 6 when Han like dies and Jason Statham rolls up and they're like, guess what, motherfucker? This was relevant the whole time. And it was like, sorry, Fast and Furious spoilers, BT dubs. But like, just like,
this is now a fucking God. Fast and Furious.
But that's the thing, that's the thing. Like, the narrative like hoops that like they jump through to like make this thing works is very much like TTRPG to me. Like, it's what you're like, the GM had to write a one shot, none of the regular players can make it to, but then we're gonna like reference back to it and make it a part of the stuff. Like, it's like it's all for the love of like narrative that just I don't know. I'm Sarah, and I like really meaningful stories and like that get down to the emotions in the heart of it, but I also just want to joke about butts a whole bunch. So
see, right, what we not gonna do is we not gonna disrespect the Fast and Furious soundtracks because
they go so hard.
Don't act like when you hear do like you don't know what's come on, you know what
it's
that means.
To go down.
I wonder if you know how they live in Tokyo. Oh my God, this shit is so sick.
It's so good. It's so good. But that's, I mean, we're running off on this though too. I think like bringing it to like TTRPG stuff is like, and this is a question I have for you guys because hello, look at me, I'm the host now. Drawing inspiration from like, so like here's the perfect example. The Bard's Refrain is a campaign that I ran, and everybody was like, oh, the narrative is based on like the plot of songs. Nope. That's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood meets the Hero and the Crown meets like a bunch of other like things. Like that's what the Bard's Refrain was. Like I'm just yoinking, I'm just stealing shit all over town. And I think like what are your guys' like biggest sources of inspiration for when you like sit down?
My current campaign, Kingsguard, is essentially, and I hate to give this, well, I don't care about giving it away, is basically Supernatural meets Mass Effect 2.
Amazing. I love this.
With Sense8 dashed in there.
Yeah, with a little bit of Sense8 sprinkled on top for flavor.
That's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Continue.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. I'll interrupt you once I remember it.
Okay, sounds good. For different games, there's always different inspirations. For Lost Frontier, there is like a little bit. There's obviously Star Trek is the biggest influence because it's Star Trek. Yeah. But I'm like throwing maybe like a little bit of like Sliders or like other things that are in there. I don't want to like spoil too much because like you're in the game.
Of course, yeah, no.
But like I've got other like sci-fi series like Stargate and like that I've sort of peppered in. But another game that I ran on the channel, The Growing of the Dim. That was all based around local legends and folklore from my hometown area.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm interrupting. Told you I'd interrupt you when I remembered. Also, there is some Camelot thrown in there, and when I say Camelot, I mean the very short-lived Camelot TV show that used to appear on Stars that had Eva Green as Morgana, which introduced me to Eva Green, and I've loved her ever since. So that's it.
This is very good.
Nice.
This is very good.
I'm done interrupting.
No, you're good.
So like local legends kind of like around your home community. I love that.
Like they have their own, there's like a cryptid that like is like a local urban legend in the area, which is like a sort of a cross between the Hook Man. It's the Goat Man. But like there's like a whole like story about how that creature came into existence. But of course it like also feeds into like ableist messages and how like disability and disfigurement can. So I like took out all the problematic elements and I'm just like, no, this is just a creature that is here for pure horror.
That's great. I like that. I like taking an idea and going like, we're gonna take the shitty parts and we're gonna go, nope,
we're gonna just,
not in my universe.
We're just gonna just throw them out
because we don't need them. They do not. Having fucked up shit in your game does not make it interesting. Hot take. Hot take. Having fucked up shit in your game doesn't make it interesting. Sorry.
Oh my god.
You're correct.
I cannot stress that enough. What I do like is, and this is a personal preference of mine, I do like when there is real danger. Yes. But I like when I can trust my GM enough to where if shit goes sour, there'll be a narrative reward for it.
Yeah.
Well, not just reason, but
reward's a better word.
Like for example, Anita's character in the last 2 sessions of Kingsguard died, like straight up, just got killed. However, they are wielding the Holy Avenger, which they named the
Waking Chorus.
The Waking Chorus.
Previously was known as Dream Singer.
Right. And because, Anita put in that lore towards this weapon, and I had already known the lore of the Holy Avenger in my world, I kind of played up to that. So when her paladin died, instead of just dying, they went in the sword and had to confront all the previous wielders of that blade. And
amazing.
Anita had told me before the session, like, hey, I'm kind of considering changing my oath. So I had
so cool.
I had the wielders of the blade go, what's your oath, not the one that you think you're supposed to uphold.
I just got cold chills all over my entire body. This is so cool.
So Yenna went from an oath of devotion paladin to an oath of vengeance paladin.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna need a minute. This is the fucking that's amazing. That is so fucking cool.
So character death doesn't
cool.
Character death doesn't have to be death. If you're the GM, you get to shape what death is.
Yes.
And let's look at Gandalf. Gandalf straight up died.
Yeah. But he got
to like come back as something that he wanted to be. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to kill your characters.
Believe you can do whatever you want.
Just kind of make their death impactful to the story.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
I was half also considering coming back as a Scourge paladin, a Scourge Aasimar again. Putting the mask back on.
Very cool. This is very cool.
I think I'm gonna stick with a protector for now.
For now. No, I love this. I love this. I did a Monster of the Week campaign with Saint as the GM. He killed both. It was 2 casts, one running on Nat 20, one running on TBK, but they were like cross-relevant, and I was a character in both. He killed Marty twice, and he killed Nora once. And it all kind of like the narrative like fed into each other and everything. But having the impact and then like defining what that looks like is exploring those spaces is real cool. And I love you were saying like there's a reward, like there's intent and power behind the action. Because you know what I don't want to do? I don't want to show up at a table and just get punched in the dick over and over and over again. That's not fun. Like I don't want to be punished for like wanting to play a cool game. That's not fun. I don't vibe with that. But I do like sitting at a table where like I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, and there's risk and there's uncertainty, and like I'm just going to trust that this is going to kind of work out. And the GM goes, and here's this beautiful narrative moment that you can now have that's like cool and very neat. And it's like, melt my face off with the coolness. Like, this is so neat.
Yeah, just like I want to encourage my players to go out there and risk it all. You're fucking heroes.
Go for those big moments.
Like, and how many like there's an article called How Superman Killed Death, about how once Superman died and came back, death became meaningless in comic books. And I disagree with that fundamentally, in the sense that I think that we have had stories where heroes have died and come back a million times. I think what sets it apart is when it's frivolous versus when it's meaningful. And I love the idea of characters growing and transforming by sacrificing everything or just going balls to the wall. Like I hate how protective some people are of hit points. Like, it's a fucking game. Like, spin that shit. spin that shit. Like, I think like the trade-off of 50 hit points versus doing something cool, like standing up to a boss that, like, as a player, my character can't beat.
Be the hero though, because heroes aren't heroes because they go, well, listen, I know that the most he can hurt me is 49 and I have 50. Like, that's not brave. No. That's not brave. That's not courageous. That's not compelling. Like, I mean, if we were talking about Gandalf, death is not the end. Like, there's so much beyond, like, it's just a transition. And if you're limiting your story to say, like, this transition is just cuts to black and there's nothing, you are robbing yourself of a lot of opportunity there, my guy. Like, there's woof. You're kneecapping yourself. Like, you're cutting your own wings, bud. Like, don't do that. Like, send that Pinto to space with Luda inside. Go for it. Like, just keep hyping it. Just go the fucking distance. Like, this is a game where you are only limited by your imagination. Like, and like, that's TTRPGs in general. Like, imagine bigger than yourself, and that's the thing. You're at a table where you have 5 other brains, 6 other brains, however large your table is, like the universe is infinitely larger than you. Do the thing, like go the distance, do all the dope shit.
I'm sorry, Bo just ruined me with the image of Gandalf in Fast and Furious.
Good. So good. What we're describing is the Futurama episode where the professor joins the crew and does the multi-dimensional drift. That's literally what we're talking about right now. It already exists.
My God, they drift into Middle Earth.
Amazing.
I love this.
What is it? You have glasses, so I'm gonna call you the professor. It's so good, guys. Freaking Futurama is literally the best show that's ever existed.
It is.
Sorry, I'm out here just dropping opinions, and if you like this kind of shit, we can be friends. So
that's the point of the show. That's the platform. Okay.
I was just going to say that we've been at this for 2 hours so far. So do we want to take like a quick 10-minute break?
That would be awesome.
Pop back?
Absolutely.
Right. That's actually a good place as any for us to take a quick break. We will be back. You all should stretch, do human things, and I don't know. I'm not your mom. Do whatever.
Fly my
we'll
family.
See you.
I'm your cool wine aunt. Go do something neat and then come back and tell me about it.
Sounds good. We will see y'all in 10 minutes.
Where are we? What's happening?
Hi.
Boy.
Hi, we're back.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a thick ass boy. Damn.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
There are no lies.
Where's the lie?
Here.
If your boys ain't thick, then what the fuck are you doing?
What they doing?
We only have left thick boys.
If those cheeks aren't clapping, I don't want anything to do with it.
Not interested. Not interested.
So, hello everybody. We're back.
My favorite thing to do last night was I was making like pivotal like emotional moments with like because Clapon was like fighting for his life in sickbay because he got the crap beat out of him, and it was like just this pivotal emotional moment. I'm like AJ is trying to like examine as a medical doctor, just like cannot keep a straight face while saying the name Lieutenant Clapon. Like say it with a straight face, AJ. Say it with a straight face.
There he is, Lieutenant Commander Clapon, fighting for his life, barely breathing.
On
his cheeks only fluttering.
Bo, don't tip me. I'll clap with both hands. So welcome back. We are now in the dark roast where we
love dark roast.
Where we try to talk about more serious aspects of the TTRPG RPG community. But we generally fail in this regards, but we're going to try.
Let's get serious.
It's true.
I play Vulcan. I'm here for it. Let's go.
You're so good at it, and it's annoying because I'm trying to crack up a whole Star Trek squad, and you're just Vulcan face, and I'm like, I'm gonna break you one day. I have to ask the question that I always try to ask, which is that you are a femme presenting individual in the TTRPG space. I know as a Black person in the space, I get harassment because of it, and there are some things that are just inherently.
I want to fight them with these hands.
There are things that are inherently more difficult for me because of it. So I want to speak to your personal experience, as you are an emerging talent in the TTRPG space, and one that I truly hope that after this episode more people pay attention to. I think you're going to be doing great things in this space. But what challenges have been presented in this space by being femme? Like, have you dealt with any heat that was unwarranted? It's the best way that I can put it.
Yeah, to start off, I think, hey, other femme people, we all get this. There's like a antagonistic view of like how smart I am from some people. There's an assumption that like I need to be, and I think this is nerd culture at large, is that like, oh, oh, you cute nerd girl, let me tell you how the mechanics work. And sometimes that can be really frustrating because it's like, yeah, dude, I fucking know. Like, and I like, that's my thing is like, I'm like mechanics, I can take them or leave them. And sometimes I don't know, but there's often like let me explain to you how this thing works. And it's like, let me tell you how undead work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, great. I ran like a campaign where like undead were a core component of like a huge chunk of it. But yeah, tell me how undead work. Like like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff where it's, I think a lot of the times it comes from like a place of wanting to help, but there's a lack of perspective. I think toxic masculinity is alive and well in the TTRPG space. I think a lot of times people make characters that embody a lot of toxic masculinity, and that can be really challenging as a femme presenting person, because it's like this that doesn't make your character interesting. It makes them an actual asshole, not like a pretend for fun asshole. Like, I don't like that. The other one, and I think this is interesting. So, like, in TTRPGs, like the sky's the limit. You get to explore so many different aspects of storytelling. I think when engaging with like romantic storylines, I'm like very like, because I don't want it to get weird, man. Like it's I don't want it to get weird. And you just have to be thoughtful. Like you have to like think through and like understand, engage. And there's like there are people that I've like played with and had like not good vibes, and then I never played with again because I didn't feel like I was like respected or seen. And it's just like, no, I'm good. All that being said, I am very privileged and very fortunate to have like landed in the communities that I have, because the level of harassment I get is negligible. Like it's truly like all of my energy like is going to be spent like directed at the people who are actually getting shit, because like I'm a white lady, I'm gonna be just fine. Like there's like, it's, you know what I mean? And so it just, I think overall it is just that like the typical toxic masculinity, I'm smarter than you, and like, hey, wouldn't it be pretty cool if like this thing happened? And it's like, okay, all right. Yeah, you're right. All right. That's fine.
Now, from experience from playing with you, I know that sometimes that you have a tendency to play like really fun, like kind of wacky type characters.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered this, and this question also goes to you, Anita, in the sense that as somebody that presents film, do you notice a difference in treatment at the table when you play a film character versus when you play like a goofy like goblin or something? Because that's I think that's a pet peeve of mine when a film person plays a non-film character, and I kind of feel like I've been at tables where I've seen people that almost, I'm trying to find the right words, are upset at that choice.
Because it's the fact that we aren't romanceable PCs.
Yes.
It's hard to try and want to dig down with my goofy like wizard with a mustache who just wants to talk about turtles. Yeah.
That was kind of like the first character that I played on stream. Finny was a man, he, him pronouns. And not just that, but also married, because I didn't really know the table that I was playing with. Turns out I was playing with Dee and Madame Gandalf, and like that was just
amazing.
Ray as the GM, and that was just like a good table to be at. So I was like really privileged in that sense. Like I don't really know who I'm playing with or how they're going to interact with me, so I'm just gonna play a mask character and who like is off the market. And like very sad boy energy, so like you probably don't really want to do that sort of thing with him.
Is that something you feel that you have to do?
Depends on the table.
This goes to both of y'all.
Depends on the table.
Depends on the table.
Like there's
if I don't really know who I'm playing with, like off the cuff, And like we had like a session 0, but it was like maybe 30 seconds of like what we were going to do and go through. Like I didn't have like a good vibe, or like I didn't have a not a good vibe, but I didn't have a vibe check in place just yet. And like I was also really nervous, and so I'm like, this is a place where I can feel comfortable, and so that's how I'm going to work with this.
Yeah, Bo put it perfectly, which is they want everyone to be Vixalia, sexy, flirtatious, and powerful. I've seen that at tables where like, you know, the femme playing like a, you know, goblin chaos lord gets a hard time at the table, and I feel like they're getting a harder time because it's just like, how dare you not play somebody I could date?
Or how dare you play somebody that's not likable like Bo?
Or like I think it's interesting because it's so I played a masked character who for a game, and he was shy. He was more reserved. I was trying to challenge myself because you're not wrong, Noir. I show up with personalities. I like to come sit down and like this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to push this envelope. And I wanted to challenge myself and play someone who's like a little more reserved, a little bit more withdrawn, pulled back, a shy boy. I was a shy himbo boy. And I did find myself throughout the course of that game asking questions because I felt like I couldn't tell if I was getting aggro because I was playing, like, to put it in shorthand, a Hal-esque character, or if because like I was not, or if because I was playing a himbo, like all of a sudden, like I wasn't smart enough to figure stuff out, or like my opinions didn't matter, or like if I was being an asshole. Like I think everyone experiences imposter syndrome. I think women in particular experience imposter syndrome, and I get it massively in games. Like I don't like. Everybody hates me. Nobody likes me. I've done a really bad job, and everything's awful, and it's all going to be really bad, and I don't belong here, and all these things. Like anxiety train, and I experienced that more playing a he/him character than I ever did playing a femme one. And so, like, when in my one shots, when I bring, I think if we want to get real, I think I hide behind the like goofy characters. Like, if you don't like Steve, like TTRPGs are like a vulnerable thing because you're creating something, you're putting yourself out there in a way, and you're saying, hey, like, please accept this part of me, like, please accept this story that I'm telling. But if you're playing like a goofy character, like a Steve who's just like ridiculous and absurd, and people reject it, it's like, yeah, that's okay because it was like, I was just kidding anyways, haha. Like, and I do think that like as a woman, it's easier to hide behind that. Like, you can't reject me if I was like not serious in the first place. And so I think that's why I do a lot of the times, like in particular, like with one shots or quick games, hide behind that very like goofy, memey stuff. And it takes me a while to feel comfortable, like to what Anita said, takes me a while to like be comfortable enough to be like, all right, so like, here's my ooey gooey center of Beldani being a representation of like my internalized guilt. Like, please be kind. You know what I mean? Like, hey, like, yes. here's Rory and like this like desire to like belong and lead a meaningful life, regardless of like not being where I thought I was going to be. Please be kind.
Here is me dealing with my ADHD through this Chaos Lord of a character. Please accept this part of me.
Yeah, like be kind. And
Sphinx
I
is
think
in chat, all the bots are getting banned.
Hell yeah. But I think like being a woman in that space, like you're not supposed to be vulnerable. Just like be hot and like be like the manic pixie dream girl is so real. Like it's like be the solution to my problem. Like fix my character, be my mommy, and it's like
you're here to develop my character.
Wow.
Yes, but like no. Like, I'm here to be a part of your character's story and explore parts of it, but like, that doesn't mean like, not at the sacrifice of like my own, you know? And also, fuck you, I'm smart, bitch. I got a 32 on the ACT. Come at me, bro. Stop patronizing me.
I never took the ACT. So
amazing.
That's just. I mean, I've been thinking about that recently because I did have an experience where I played where it's just like, I think there's a modicum of freedom that I have as a masculine presenting individual in the sense that there is no expectation of the characters that I bring based on their gender identity. Like, I can, if I play a guy, then okay, whatever. If I play a femme, okay, whatever. Like, most of the people that want that manic pixie dream girl aren't. I don't think they have the maturity to separate the fantasy from reality, and I think that's where things get really sticky. So even if I were playing a feminine character, they would not see the character as feminine because the player is masculine.
Right.
And I always wonder what's on the other side of that for femme players, and I think that it's something that's a little ugly. And I've always been curious about that.
Yeah, I think it's a really thoughtful question, and I'm thank you for asking it, because I think like it's important for us to acknowledge like how different it can be. Like, one thing that's really important to me is that everybody feels like they belong in this space, because like literally this is a space that is limitless. It's only bounds, or the bounds of our imagination. Why can't we imagine a place where everybody belongs and is respected and cared for? And like, it is really fucking important to me to create an environment where everybody feels like they belong, regardless of like any aspects that makes them up as a person. Like, that's important. And being able to call out and recognize like, hey, like preferential treatment towards that girl because you think like maybe if you're nice to her as their GM that like she'll want to go out with you or whatever, or I'm gonna neg you and like make you feel like you're less,
or I'm gonna gatekeep this information and I'm going to explain everything to you.
Yes, like it's just not a good look. And going to our earlier conversation, if I feel like I'm drawing that attention, pack my bags, move to the next city. Like I don't need that energy. I'm perfectly okay to like fuck right out.
So Noir.
I don't like that.
By that same token, like you talked about how like as femme people in the space there's a certain expectation of us. Do you feel like there is a certain expectation of you as a black man at a table? Or as a black mask figure at a table?
Yeah. I don't think the people that do it realize it, but there is the expectation, and I'm not necessarily sure if this is just because I'm a black masculine figure, as much as it may just be a unconscious bias, but I feel like oftentimes I'm expected to be just the comic relief, and I have been at a lot of tables where it's just like, if you're not being funny, shut the fuck up. I've been at tables where like I'm just absolutely not playing a funny character at all. Mm-hmm. And because of that, like it again goes back to what we were talking about, where it's just like you're at a table and the GM is providing stories to everybody but you. Like you don't exist to have a story, you exist to add the rim shot for the main characters.
You are content. You are content
right.
and content only.
Right. And I am privileged in the sense that I have a larger than normal platform. And I think that only has made things worse in the sense that like you exist to be funny and to put a spotlight on our project. And that's it. Like it gets uncomfortable. And you know, I mean that's how it go. You know?
Yeah. I think you point out like the there is like a sinister side to like the content production of like TTRPGs of like you are talented, you have these abilities, and we will benefit from these. Like we're not going to treat you like a person, we're going to treat you like a product. And I try to be very careful when like those kinds of vibes, like I want to play with people that like see me as a person, like, you know what I mean? I want to tell story because it is such a vulnerable thing to create and like put stuff out into the world. I would much rather do that with people that I trust and respect, that will honor the stories that we're trying to tell, rather than, you know, be like, oh, well, you have X number of followers, or this is the size of your platform, or we need you know, I'm sure Noir, in your case, we need a diverse cast and you're like the one black guy that we know. Like
that's all.
Yeah, that hit you right in the heart right there.
Yeah, but like legitimately, like that is a part of who you are, but that's not what makes you great. It is what makes you great, but it's not like the focus, and for people to kind of like
makes you great.
Right. And I think it's the same, like as women in this space, I think there's an element of that, right? Like, look at our table, it's diverse because we have this girl with short hair. Oh, is she queer? Nobody really knows. Like, like it's just like, but that's diversity.
We're diverse.
Like, I think
we have a white she they.
Exactly. And I think like yeah, like in my real life, I have a lot of conversations around. I work in IT, and I'm have a lot of conversations around like gender in the IT space, and like the severe lack of women, not only women, but like people of color and women of color, and like have these kinds of conversations in a professional sense. And I see a lot of parallels between that and TTRPG space, where it's like in very, very, very few contexts am I bringing diversity to a table. But I think that there is still large bastions of the space where people have that mindset. I think that's troubling. I think that that's people not being honest with themselves.
The onus to create a diverse community is on the people that create the community, and it doesn't stop at casting. I think the truth of the matter that a lot of people are uncomfortable with. If you are in a space where there isn't a lot of diversity, I think you have to ask why. And honestly, you have to make the space comfortable for people. And that is work that doesn't end at casting. It doesn't end at having a black person on your admin team. You have to make them feel welcome.
Right.
And that doesn't mean kissing their ass.
No.
It doesn't mean like giving compliments. It doesn't mean just throwing up O's when you don't mean them. What it means is that you have to continuously make the effort to make sure that your space is welcoming, and that you continue to do the work to attract a diverse community.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, and it's worth it.
But
it's worth it.
It is and it isn't. Like the magic trick of this whole thing is that, surprise, Black folks are just like everybody else. And the way you make them feel comfortable is the way that you make anybody feel comfortable.
Right.
By not being an asshole. Like, if you are an asshole, like, I genuinely think people don't understand the value of kindness.
Oh, 110%. It costs you nothing to be kind. It costs you nothing.
And that's the secret. That's the secret sauce. If you're kind and you have your shit together and you're supportive
and you behave with empathy,
and people will flock to you. Like,
which should be so easy in a TTRPG community where we're role playing. Like, you would think that empathy would just be baked in. It's in the sauce. You would think, but like
the cheese is under the sauce.
The cheese is under the sauce. Like, it's there.
Like, honestly, here's Noir's guide to making your community appeasable to a diverse cast. Ready? Here we go. 1, treat people like people. 2, have your shit in order. 3, if you're going to commit to something, fucking commit to it. I cannot tell you how many shows I've been casted on to be the diversity and like we don't finish a season. I cannot tell you how many projects I've been a part of that don't see the end. And I understand that life happens, but time is valuable. And especially if you're not paying the cast, the onus is on you to see through whatever you get a bunch of people to commit to. If I were to spearhead a bunch of projects and I go, Anita, Sarah, I want you to do this thing with me. And unfortunately, I can't pay you, but we're going to have 6 episodes of this project. And by episode 4, I have flaked 3 or 4 times on completing the project. I don't give a shit if you're black, blue, green, yellow, or brown. What incentive is there for you to trust me again or to make my project a priority if I call you again? I've already shown you that I don't intend to see through what I've done.
Right.
So
absolutely. Like setting realistic expectations for yourself. Because like with the Bard's Refrain, we played once a month. And like in my head, it was just going to be like, oh, we'll play this once a month and we'll just go forever. And it'll be great. But then I like actually sat down and thought about it. And I'm like, the human person, cannot continue to like keep that kind of like schedule or that kind of like momentum. And I can't expect these people that I respect to also do the same. So we're going to shift this, we're going to change this, and we're going to make it so like we're going to bookend this, right? Like, and being honest about what you can do, like what you can provide and being realistic about that is important. Riding waves of like, oh yeah, I'm going to have this totally diverse thing and I'm going to like be like the most, thoughtful one and do all the things doesn't mean shit if you don't commit to it. Doesn't mean shit if you don't deliver. Being honest with
not only with your players about your own limitations, being honest with yourself about your own limitations. Right. Exactly.
Part 2.
Go for it.
Of this is, I had it in my head and then I fucking lost it. I love my ADD. It's fantastic.
It's going to be okay.
It's okay.
We'll come back to it.
We'll diverge.
It always keeps me on the edge of my seat.
Press the button press the button for the countdown for the interruption.
Even I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm here for it.
I think I remember what it is, but I think you want to be interrupted.
5, 4,
so Sarah,
3,
we're going to ask you another
2,
question about.
1.
It was probably meaningful.
Yeah, definitely about the.
I lost the other button, but that's okay. I'm really cooked out of my mind right now. But the other thing is, I found it. I'm interrupting. The other thing is you have to prune your community. If there are trouble spots in your community, if there are people that a number of individuals don't enjoy playing with, even if they're your friends. You have to understand the goal of your community. Are you playing to play with your friends, or are you playing to build a TTRPG community? If you're playing to build a TTRPG community and you want the best of the best and you want to put together the best productions, then those trouble spots have to be dealt with. I cannot tell you how many places that I've gone where I've thoroughly enjoyed the experience, except for maybe one or two people. And because of those one or two people, I'll never come back. At the end of the day, you have to weigh and measure. And if this is something that you notice is a trend, especially with your more diverse cast, you have to ask yourself, why?
What's happening here?
You know, is it worth it? Like, do I want the diversity, or do I just want to play with my friends?
Yeah. And what's the goal here?
And 3, and this is I think this is the one that a lot of people will probably say, like, oh yeah, I totally agree with it, but they don't actually, which is you have to truly be uncomfortable with an all-white cast. If you are not truly uncomfortable with putting on a show that only has white folks in it, then I'm sorry, you failed. Yeah. Like, I think, be honest with yourself. No, I just 100% be honest with yourself. Like, I think diversity is intentional. And like, if you just shrug it and say like, oh, well, we couldn't find anybody, bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, bullshit. There's tons of us out here and we're looking to play, but I mean, first off, if we see a channel that has nothing but an all-white cast, that means that we're coming in tepid. Like, honestly, how do I put this? If you are playing in a cast that can walk into a Klan rally and not have a problem, we register that. And that means that we don't know if that cast actually goes to a Klan rally. So are you there? So you're asking us to put a lot of trust into your projects with very little assurance of our comfort or safety, and you're asking us to sacrifice a lot of time. And honestly, it's more beneficial for you than it is for us. Yeah, time and talent, like energy, because like I feel like I do this for fun, but also like I want to be good at, and I think it's true of everybody here, like both Anita and Noir. Like, I try to bring my A game to this stuff. Like, I am trying. Like, yes, I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm goofing. We're telling stories. Great. But like, I've got notebooks filled of like meticulous notes because I'm like actively trying to make this thing be the best that it can be. Like, if I'm coming to your table, I want it to be better for me being there. So like, having a person of color, like asking them to like come to your table and like share their talent and be vulnerable and like tell their stories, but not give them a safe environment to do that, to not respect them enough to like treat them with kindness.
Your notes are A+, like gold star.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
thank you.
I forgot about that. I'm gonna keep a note of that.
I can't recall the last game that any of us have been in as players where we didn't cosplay, and nobody's asking us to.
No, I'm doing that.
Generally, nobody's paying us to.
Correct.
It's just that we give a shit so much about the game that it's just like, all right, let's go. Let's not half-ass this. Let's go full ass. And so it's just like, I asked people, like, as a white person, I want you to imagine walking into a barber shop full of black folks. There's going to be some inherent hesitancy, right? That's how we feel joining your games.
Right, and I don't want that. I want us to all. I want it to be more like I want it to feel like family dinner at Vin Diesel's house or at Dominic Toretto's house.
Right.
Like I want us to all like sit around the table and like be excited to be there, and we're all like kind of giving each other shit. Like that's what I like. I want it to feel like people belong, and like I like I said, like Anita said, like it takes work, it takes effort, and I think it takes work and it takes effort because like from my perspective, I see you walking into my table, and I want to be like, hey bud, no, we're good. Hey bud, I got you. Like, we're okay. Everything's okay. We're gonna, like, I promise you, like, I will fight people, whatever I need. I'm not gonna fight people. I'm gonna rip their spines out and shove them back down their throats. Like we're going, like, you are valid and a person who belongs here just because you are you. That's it. Just because you are you belong. And like making sure people know that and feel that around you, I think it takes intentional work because you have to say it. You can't just assume that people are going to know because like you're a real chill dude. You have to say it, and you have to say it out loud. People don't know unless you tell them.
Go ahead, Anita,
I just said a couple weeks ago when I was like announcing the new shows for the season, I put out the post about Blue Ghosts, which is Dee's game that's on Wednesdays, and I had someone reply to the announcement post telling me that it looks like a cool game, but they wish the cast was more diverse.
Fuck off. Fuck right off.
That was code for there are no straight cis white men on this stream. Why are there no straight cis white men on this stream?
What I want people to really understand is that code switching is real, and code switching doesn't just exist for Black folks. For example, I can't speak to this from the perspective of a woman, but I can speak to this as the perspective of a masculine presenting individual that worked in an office full of women, which is that when you're the majority in a space, you talk and act differently, right? Because there's shorthand that you don't have to explain. Like they would talk about all sorts of experiences that women go through, and there was no need for an explanation. They could just speak freely, and the onus was on me to kind of catch up or to be curious or to stay in my lane and to know when and when not to talk, to be respectful, because the space was predominantly feminine, and so you have to respect that. Mm-hmm. That is just the nature of social interaction, right? And that is just inherent in any space you go to. The majority gets to speak in shorthand, and the onus is on the minority to try and find their way to fit in. This is why we need more diversity, so that we don't have to constantly work to understand the shorthand, right, where we don't have to constantly stay in our lane, right?
Mask up. Here's how I will present so I am palatable to you and your experience, and you're not like threatened or challenged, and I don't have to deal with like the bullshit. Like I know, who am I kidding? I'm still gonna have to deal with the bullshit, but like, yeah, I'm gonna put this mask on so like I don't make you uncomfortable when I'm uncomfortable. Like,
in that, a channel should never have several all-white shows. A channel should never have several all masculine shows. A channel should never have the cast should never look alike in every show. There should be spaces in your channel for everyone, and that is lacking in this space. And so and that's
the thing is when people see shows that have like actual legitimate diversity, but they don't see a straight cis het white man either in the GM's chair or at another position at the table, they cry that it's not diversity.
But because
fuck off with that.
Well, it's the energy of like, oh well, there's not going to be. because what that idea is that there are only so many seats at the table. Bullshit. This is a space that is only limited by our imagination. There are infinite number of seats, my guys. Like there
are so many other tables that you can go sit at. There are so many other streams that you can watch. Literally
limitless opportunities. By having a diverse cast, you are not putting out anybody. You're only growing a community. You're only making the world bigger and wider and better for it. And so when somebody comes with the energy of like, this is somehow taking away from me, that person needs to go sit in a corner and think about their life. Like they need to like understand like what's going on with them. Cause that's not like, it only makes things better. It only makes more room. It's a constantly expanding space. And the more people we fit into it and bring into it and make feel included, the better we are for it.
And if you're threatened by why I made this channel.
Yeah. If you're threatened by inclusion, ask yourself, why don't you want to include people?
One of the things that I'm proudest of in terms of critical misses, and I'm gonna allow myself just a quick pat on the back because
hype the shit out of this channel. Go for it.
I think I've done a pretty decent job of this. Is the job of your channel should be to encourage more people to jump in the pool. Like, yeah. I feel like we've had a number of people who have made the transition from viewers to participants because everybody could do this. Yeah. Everybody could do this, and there's even a little bit of money in it sometimes if you work hard enough at it.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the reason that I'm not so present is because not as present on a lot of the programming is because like I am working to do this as a job.
You're growing the opportunities available to you and everyone here.
So where I can't be, if there is a show that's awesome and I can't be in it, I'm going to encourage I'm going to encourage anyone watching to like, hey, you want to play a game? Then fucking play a game. Do you have a webcam? It doesn't have to be the greatest webcam. You don't need the greatest microphone. Give it a shot. Like, be encouraging to your community to jump in. And other people will see that. And you know what? Some of those people might even be black.
It's like of the people that are like in chat right now, AJ was like on like the first episode of Morning Ritual harassing us in chat, and we're like, okay, let's get this Husha kid a game. Let's bring him in.
Yeah.
Bo, they were like they just decided to sign up one day for an episode of System Crash, and now they're killing it. Like
Bo has a dope ass streaming channel, and like I still remember the first stream where you just read a novel. Like we should be encouraging the growth of the community, and by doing that, like you don't have to go, oh fuck, God, I got this show.
Yeah.
I need a black guy and I need a gay person and like I need this,
to cover,
that.
I need to cover all my bases.
I need to check out every single diversity box.
Gotta catch them all.
For a game that's only gonna last 2.5 episodes before I lose interest.
Right, because I was never actually invested in the diversity aspect at all. It was something that I wanted to market, so I like more people gave a shit about it. Like it happens naturally, right? Like one of my mantras is make dope shit with dope people.
That's it.
Like just make dope shit with dope people. Like, and if you do that, and you do that with sincerity, and you do that with vulnerability, and you're open to like growing and changing and improving, like if you build it, they will come. You know what I mean? Like if you set up the system and you operate from like a place of vulnerability, of like intellectual honesty, emotional empathy, like all the things, like it will happen naturally, and you won't force it. You won't have to force it, because people will feel appreciated, they'll feel seen, they'll feel cared for, because you legitimately see and care for them, and like it'll all work out. Like it's funny to listen to it, like it's this tough nut to crack. Is it? Just don't be a dick. Make dope shit with dope people. Be a chill dude. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
If I don't want to smoke with you, I don't want to play with you. Like, honestly, that's the rule. Like, just be chill. Like, and your reputation goes much further than you ever could imagine.
Right. I think for myself, like a little humility never hurt anybody, like legitimately. And I think like approaching things with like I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow, I'm here to support, like from a place of kindness, a place of empathy. Like what I found is when that's where your starting point, and then you're like, I'm going to commit to the bit and make this the best that I can make it. Only good things come from that. Like only good things come from that. I'm like saying this as I have like a handmade Steve name tag that I made for a one shot. You know what I mean? Like it just like
Steve.
Are we just pulling out things that we have for characters on our desks?
Yeah. I've got my Gary headband ready to go.
I was about to pull out my bowl, and then I remembered we're on Twitter. I mean, we're on Twitch.
Twitch. I put away all my notebooks, or I would pull those out and just like thumb through the pages and pages of notes.
Yep. Here's some blood. have some blood.
Nora just has a jar of blood.
Blood, a little bit of paint, face paint. You never know.
I love it. It's phenomenal. I think what is going on? Oh, so many treasures. I'm sad. I cleaned my desk because I wanted to be so professional for this, and now I'm sad because I don't like.
I mean,
I don't have any like cool stuff.
I just have one for. I have a pocket knife on my desk for opening packages.
Sometimes you need it, girl. I got my click crack bag. God damn it, Noir. God damn it. Like they've got all their cool stuff. Look at all this prop knife. Yeah, I've got like all my wigs set up for my different characters. Oh man.
These are all prop weapons. These are not actually please don't take us down. Please don't remove us from this room.
Everything's fine. It's gonna be okay.
A suit of armor.
We're gonna be fine.
No one can actually see that because you're slightly cropped out.
Oh shit. Well, never mind then. But that's what I mean. Like we go fucking hard for these shows that we do.
Here. Stand by. Let me grab my notebook so we can talk about it really quick.
Now we're just flexing. Now that Sarah's gone, oh my god, this guest is just, can you believe this? Like I can't
even like honestly, really, can you just like
it's just so fucking
for real
worse.
Just come on. I mean, Sarah, welcome back.
Okay, welcome back.
Hi. I treat playing TTRPGs like it's homework. Because I think it's important. I think like if I'm not invested and I'm not trying to give it my all, why am I even there? And if I'm not paying attention, then like what's the point?
Just notes from individual games.
Yeah. So some of them are combined. This is the Lost Frontier notebook.
Blue for science.
We can. So I don't know if this is going to come across.
Holy smokes, that's a lot of notes.
So this is session 1 was these pages. Session 2, like I try to take really detailed notes. Like
there's even quotes in some of the notes that you take. Like you literally write down what I say.
Right, because I want to capture those moments. Like I want to make sure that I'm present and I'm active. Like hey guys, I'm gonna be a little braggadocious for just like 2 seconds.
No, do it. Hype that shit.
I think that I have a lot of talents that are really valuable in this space. I think there's a lot of things that I do really well. I think there's a reason that like I continue to like get these opportunities and get to work with dope people. But I want to make it very clear. It's because I put in effort. It's because I try. Like, I think a lot of times people want to just show up and like, look at me, I'm great. And they think that it's effortless, and that's totally valid. But like, I want to like give it my best and give it my all. So like if I'm at your table, like, yeah, dude, you best believe that like I'm gonna get a notebook and I'm gonna take like so many notes. Like I treat this like, because you have invested the time in telling a story. There's a bunch of people there, and like I want to like make that better and be a part of that. And I think like that this is what respect looks like to me. This is how I can like quantify like what I'm trying to do. Like even for one shots, I freaking take notes.
What because color is the notebook for Morningstar? Valak would like to know.
This is okay, Lauren. This is the Morningstar notebook. I started this campaign a year ago. There's only 15 pages left. I bought a new one, but we can do a quick.
Shit. So, I mean, look. Okay, let's get into it, because this is what I'm talking about. Like, you're putting in effort, and the onus is on the channels that you play on and the GMs that you play with to honor that. Like, that's a lot of your time, that's a lot of your effort. And I have been places where that sort of thing is dismissed or it's expected, and that's fucked up.
I think a little bit like that's the approach I have. Like I think, first of all, it is earned. You know what I mean? Like I've sat at tables where I've like started with this intent and then been like, this isn't worth it. Like I'm not going to do this. Like they don't care enough. So I don't care enough. And I think that's totally valid. But like, I talk about TTRPGs a lot. Like I'm in this space and I'm playing a lot of games and I'm trying to grow and learn, and I'm learning and growing. Like there's just so much. But like Sarah, want to be intentional about it. You know what I mean? And I think that speaks to the kind of tables that I want to sit at. Those are the kind of content creators I want to work with. Those are the stories I want to tell. Is like I want to be in places and spaces where people are being thoughtful and kind and telling stories worth writing down. Like, exactly. Like it's like my imposter syndrome will often tell me that like I'm too much, or I'm a show off, or that I'm like stealing spotlights, or that I'm unwelcome, or that I'm annoying, or I'm whatever. But the reality is like I give a shit. I want to sit with people who also give a shit, and celebrate that, and like yes, and that giving a shit, so we can and make stuff that's meaningful. And like you asked about like the femme presenting question and stuff like that too. Like my greatest fear is that like in TTRPGs is that like I'm too much, or I'm too loud, or I'm too big, or I'm too you know what I mean? I'm too.
Are you too much, something. Or are people giving too little?
Right. And like that's the thing is like the places where I don't worry about that are the places where my rules are followed, where we're having fun, where we're being respectful, where we're prioritizing like telling meaningful stories over singular moments, you know? And I think those are the kinds of communities, those are the kinds of people that I want to build up and I want to like work with and be involved with. I have zero interest in people who will say a nice thing to your face, but then behind your back, talk shit or see you as a resource. Like 100%, like I think people would look at like what I do and go, I want that person like on my shit to do the things. And it's like, I'm gonna bring my A game. Hi, I'm a burnt out overachiever. I can't help it. It's in my DNA. But like, I want to play with people that like respect that.
For what it's worth, Sarah, you are more than enough at my table.
You're the sweetest. And thank you.
I adore the energy that you bring in everything you do.
Thank you.
And I'm just gonna add this, and then I've got a dope ass segue, and I'm very excited to use it. Which is like, I think ultimately the goal of every channel shouldn't be to have the next Critical Role.
Correct.
I think the goal of every channel should be to develop the talent that's on the channel and to promote them and to grow their individual platform so that one of their players might end up on the next Critical Role.
Here's my thing. I'll edit that just a titch. Critical Role already exists.
Right.
The world doesn't need another one. Make what only you can make.
Then let me amend even further. I think the goal of every channel should be to grow and promote their talent so that they find the success that they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I feel like individual channels are more concerned with their own growth than the growth of the talent that they have currently.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I'm very proud of is that I've gotten people paid to play TTRPGs, and that makes me
amazing.
That makes me happier than any check that I've gotten for myself, just because I want people to have that experience of I did something that I loved for 2 hours and now I can buy a burger because of it. Like, even if it's only like 10, 15, 20 bucks, whatever.
Yeah.
I just want people to have the experience of doing something that they love and getting something for it. I think that does something good for their soul. I think it inspires them. And it's the only way that I can think of being able to show them what I see when I play with them, which is like, I don't have anything to give you because I'm broke. I don't have anything to give you, but I see the value in what you bring to the table, and that should be honored, respected, and proven.
Yeah.
And my goal, and as long as I'm here at Critical Misses, my goal will always be to show people the value that they bring to the table. Always. And that should be the goal of every channel. Now, someone that is less concerned with that would be that guy. So smooth. Did you see that? Did you see that? I'm killing it. I'm about to finish it, but right now I just have to.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, baby. Go. Just go do the thing.
Fly, baby,
I'm about to finish it. All right. So, if you've been in the TTRPG community long enough, you've probably had the unpleasant experience of playing with a that guy. A that guy is somebody who is a black hole of fun at the table. Someone that if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience at the table would increase tenfold. So, Sarah, I have to ask you, have you played with a that guy? And can you tell us about it? If you like some of our previous examples, we've had some as minor as a railroady GM, and some as severe as the biter gaslighter, somebody that bit a player in the neck and then pretended it didn't happen. So, have you played with that guy? Can you tell us a story?
Unfortunately, of course I've played with that guy. And like I've played TTRPGs long enough that I've played with several that guys. Like, it just, you can't, they're everywhere. So I want to like tack onto this that guy thing, because I love my dad, and he's kind of a genius, and he has a rule. Like every day at the first day of school, my dad would sit us down before we'd like get on the bus or leave, and he'd give us the 1/3 speech. And 1/3 of people are jackasses. 1/3 of all kinds of people, teachers, doctors, lawyers, civilians on the street. 1/3 of people are jackasses. And your goal in life is to not become one of the third. Like that is, if you do not become a part of the third, you have succeeded. Like, just don't be a jackass. 1/3 of people are jackasses. I think that's true of the TTRPG space as well, because people are going to people. 1/3 of everybody are assholes. So just try to surround yourself with the remaining 2/3. I can share an example. I was a player in a game, and I had created a character who was I had intentionally made the choice because I was new at this table and I didn't know like the people. And this goes back to the femme presenting thing. I made my character be someone who is not interested in romantic advances of any kind. And in this character's backstory, he was the youngest of 7. He had 6 older sisters. And his arc was he was kind of like the fuck up. Like all of his sisters were absolute fucking powerhouses of people who were like went out and like were making moves and changing the game. And then here's my goofy guy who like just can't get his shit together. And the GM at that table, like I'd had several conversations. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. Yada, yada, yada. One of the other players also had a character who was not interested in romantic advances and was very clear about, or I think was even like, might have been a gay presenting, but like still, like that was something that we didn't want to do. And the narrative arc took us to my character's home, where we would engage and meet with the family that I had created for my character to build narrative. And I was really excited because I was like, oh, awesome. We're going to get to explore this dynamic of like seeing my character in a position where like my bravado and my ego is just going to get shoved right back down my throat. You know what I mean? Great. We got to the home and the GM decided to play the sisters as money chasers. The other character who was like not interested in like the romantic or I was, queer, happened to be a captain, and all 6 sisters were like fawning over this person because like they had this thing and like basically like reduced them to like the 3 ladies from Beauty and the Beast that like fawn over Gaston. Like it was just like, yeah, just that sound. And then like my character was kind of like thrown in the middle of it, and it just kind of was a bummer. And like after that, I didn't trust that GM to like honor anything that I intended with my character. The other person like felt incredibly disrespected because now they're like have like all these like characters like hitting on their like it was a bad vibe. It was not a good time. And my interest and engagement in that campaign just died because it was like, don't be that guy. Like, and oh, haha, look how funny this is. We're making this person uncomfortable. Blah. And it's like, this is the lamest shit. It's not funny. It's offensive. You're making people uncomfortable. And like, it's pointless. This is pointless and just incredibly frustrating. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just, to what end? Not only are you displaying that you hate women because you're like stereotyping an entire room of women, but then you're also like antagonizing the one woman at your table with like your sexist bullshit. What are you doing? What are you doing, bud? What's your plan? Where are you going? What is this? And it just, it was less than ideal. And didn't play with that particular individual ever again because I was not interested in sharing my talents in that space. I would say that was like a big one. I mean,
No, go ahead.
I mean, there's other examples, but like that's the one that like immediately comes to mind every time is like that one time that my sweet sorcerer boy just got shanked by his own backstory and not like a meaningful way. And I was like, man, and it sucks because I loved that character, but like, I'll put you in the garbage now. Like, goodbye. Goodbye forever.
You did.
Fred's like, no notes for you.
No notes for you. Yeah, I don't like legitimately. I don't care about the story that you're telling at all because you don't care about the story that I'm telling. Like, yeah, at all.
I mean, and the thing is, your players will tell you the kind of story that they want.
Yeah.
As a GM, you're supposed to lean into that. There are times when you can subvert their expectations, but never to the detriment of the story that the player is trying to tell.
Yeah.
But I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
What do we want to call this one?
I almost want to call it the subvert pervert.
Yeah, 100%, yes, because that's what it just felt gross.
The subperverter.
It just felt icky. It's not good. The story shanker.
The story shaker.
The backstory backstabber. There we go.
Oh, I love that. But, I mean, I have a rule in my head that like I don't think I've ever communicated. Like whenever I'm playing as a GM, if this actually happened last night in one of my Avatar games where I had a femme presenting individual who was playing basically an assassin in the Avatar universe, and they were very antagonistic to the party, which not very antagonistic. They were antagonistic to the party, which personally I don't mind. I genuinely don't mind.
Give me something to push against. Sure.
Right. So like the party, majority of the party, they were going after this shrine, and she was away from the party at the time, and so she thought that they stole it, and she's an assassin, and she was trying to help the town. So she was like, I'm just going to follow these guys, and I'm going to attack them should I have the opportunity. And so they got to a fork in the road. The party went straight, she went left. Triggered a trap, boulder came, and it basically pinned her to the wall. Now, the rule I have in my head is the no damsels rule. I
love that.
like damsels in distress. I just fundamentally.
Hi, Sam. Thank you for that.
Oh, hey, Sam.
Hi.
Thank you so much for the raid. We were talking about you earlier.
Hi.
But I fundamentally don't ever like. I think I'm very sensitive to stereotypes, having endured quite a few myself in TTRPG. So I have the rule, no damsels in distress. So she got pinned to a wall, and as soon as she got pinned to a wall, a couple of the guys playing were just like, we hear the sound, we're gonna go save. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I have to stop this. She's a badass assassin, and I don't just want her to get saved.
Yeah.
And so, and this was a new player as well. And so I'm just like, okay, you've got 2 rounds before these guys come and find you in this precarious situation.
Yeah.
You've got to figure something out. And like, I'm doing everything I can in GM speak to go, yo, we gotta fucking go. So you're not a damsel.
Right, girl, let's figure this shit out.
And like, I think that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to honor the spirit of the character. I would never in a million years want to read a comic book where Black Widow needs to be saved all the time. Like that is contrary to the spirit of the character. Black Widow's whole deal is that she's just a person who can figure it out.
I'm listening to you talk, and honestly, I think this is another reason why Hal and Veldani vibed so good and so hard, is because you didn't treat my character like a damsel ever. And like there was a lot of reason, like ammunition to do it, because the way I flavored it was that she was a great old ones warlock. If she used too many of her like magical abilities, she kind of started to like lose it. Like she started to go crazy because like she's channeling unknowable forces through her brain. And there was one particular moment where I had to I maintained a spell for like multiple rounds of combat.
Way too long. Yeah.
And I the way I flavored it is like she was down for the count. Like she's going to need some time to come out of it. And I loved Hal came over, tapped Veldani on the shoulder and said, hurry up, take your time. You're safe, but get back here because we got shit to do. And then just went about his business. There was no like, I've got to be here and like coddle her through this experience. There was like a respect of like, this bitch knows her business, and like vice versa. Like the respect of like, this character knows their business and doesn't need to be coddled based on gender, sexual orientation, race, what have you. Like they're here for a reason. And I loved that.
That's kind of why I like playing the asshole character, because if you break through the shell of this guy who's just antisocial and doesn't want to be around anybody, like if you break through that shell just like having a conversation, how does it see you as anything other than a companion? Like, so it's not, oh no, you know, the damsel needs my help. It's get your shit together, right? Because we got shit to do. So and that's how he's gonna treat you.
Right. We're now meaningful to each other. It's shorthand almost. Like I will literally. One of my best moments in TTRPG ever is we were hauling ass to get away from a big old red dragon, and I had like ran out of movement right at the front of the gate, and Hal was doing dope monk shit and he was running, and I thought in my head, I will know that we have like bonded and become friends based on like what he does next. And Hal stopped and helped Veldani like get like through the gate. And I was like, we have done it. We are now friends. I'm never going to say this out loud to Noir directly, but in my heart and in my mind, we are besties. like it was confirmation. I felt like I had done something right by my character because your asshole character gave a shit about the success of mine. And that's how I knew like I had done this kind of collaborative storytelling I was aiming to do. And like that's such a good feeling. So good. Oh my God.
And I'm very glad that you bring that up, because I want, when I play people like that, I never want it to be like, oh, he has to help the, you know, the female character. He doesn't. You proved yourself useful. If we get into the shit, I'm gonna need your ammo. So get your ass and let's go.
Yes. And now we've opened another gate to like tell an even more dynamic story. Like now we get to double down and like do the thing that I'm excited to be there to do. And like that to me is like how you continue to again, and like it all comes down to like respect and communication and like it doesn't like we talked about safety tools. Yes, absolutely, 110% use them for the love of God. Make your table safe for everybody, please. But if you operate from a space of sincerity, of kindness, of empathy and vulnerability, a lot of this stuff will follow. Like I can't speak enough to that. Like one of my if we're just like patting ourselves on the back or like celebrating wins, the Bard's Refrain, that table was effortless to run as a GM. I never like felt like I like, even though character motivations might have like been different or whatever, like we were all operating from a place of respect and having fun and all the things, and it just worked for like a year. That's crazy. Like it was amazing. I'd sit at that table any day. Like amazing.
And we didn't need to have conferences behind the scenes to go, okay, and here's how our character feels, and here's what's happening next. I literally like, and I that's, we keep talking about making sure that you find the right table and that you're playing with the right people. And the Bard's Refrain and several of the games that I've played with Anita has shown me what I need at a table to function, which is I need to be able to trust people on the go, because I don't have the capacity to like, I can do stars and wishes after a session. I can do our safety tools. But what I can't do is I can't be in a Discord all week going, and here's what I think I'm going to do next. And here's what I think I want to do next. And here's what I think I want to do next. And here's what I think I want to do next. And here's
that also comes down to like you having like an actual existence outside of this singular project that you're working on is like, you have like, sure, I want to be in this for like the pure story and think about like what my character's motivations are down the road, but also I got bills to pay. I got to keep a roof over my head.
That shit is hard, fam.
Yeah, dude. Just existing is a whole thing. Are you telling me I got to sleep and drink water every day to live? That's 3 fucking things.
That's 3 whole things.
That's 3 whole things, and we haven't even got out of bed yet. Like, what?
And as a freelancer, you have 3 jobs, which is finding a job, doing a job, and finding the next job. So it's just, I don't have time to fucking have board meetings about games. I don't, and I'm like,
not at this level. Not at this level, right?
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I happen to believe that like you would love to live in a world where you could do those things, where you could spend that time like dedicated to singular projects, but like offering each other grace and like understanding as human beings, because that's what we are, like I think matters. Like everybody, life comes first. Like I want to tell stories, I want to do this, but I want it to be fun. Like I want to have a good time. I don't want people to be stressed out. Like I want to see them as the people that they are first, and then the players that they could be at my table. Well, let's get into it. 2020 was a fucking hard year for your girl. It was a shit show. My life changed drastically. Where I am was a year ago. It's not the same place that I am now. And like the meaningful relationships, or like particularly, I think the power of the TTRPG space gave me during that like time of like uncertainty, is people saw me as a person first and a player second. Like,
because we were all dealing with the like, the trash fire of the world around us.
Right. Like it's just like, 2020 was a hard year. End of statement. Like, it just for like not only was the world exploding every 30 seconds in like every way imaginable, it was like a psychological warfare that like, I guarantee you go outside your house right now with a mask on and you go up to the first person you see and you go 2020, am I right? And they'll go, ugh. Cause like everyone was like experiencing it. But then like you had your own like life bullshit on top of it. You know what I mean? And like, this is supposed to be a place to escape and tell stories and feel better about life for a while. Like it's not over. And like, it just like, again, like TTRPGs are about role playing. It's about experiencing feelings as someone else. It's about empathy. Practice that outside the games. Treat people like people. Have respect and be kind. It's not that hard. Like,
seriously, like I still don't think that we've all truly. I don't think that we fully digested the fact that the motherfucking ocean was on fire. Like, I don't think that we've really comprehended that. Like, that's still to me.
There was no time. There was no time.
I watched that video over and over again, and I'm like, the ocean was on fire.
Murder hornets were a thing.
Do you remember how Australia like essentially burned it all the way up? Like, there's no more Australia anymore. Do you remember that? I remember being like, wow,
the ocean, Australia, it was all on fire.
Everything. Like it was all like, it's Bright and I were having a conversation about this like recently. Like it just like life is hard, and we have to start seeing people as people with lives outside of this hobby and like with lives outside of this like this sphere. If we want them to, going back to like Nora's point about diverse communities and like creating a space of belonging, if people can't show up as themselves, they can't feel like they belong. And that means giving people grace to not responding to discords or missing sessions or what have you. People got to people, man. People got people. And be honest with yourself about how much peopling you need to do. Like, Don't sign up for shit if you can't do the thing. Take care of yourself. Give yourself grace. Be nice.
And most importantly, protect your circle. Like, and that's the lesson that I'm learning this year, where the fucking ocean was on fire, is that you need to make sure that the people that are around you are there for you. Felicia Day had a tweet yesterday, which was like, and you look at somebody like Felicia Day, who's wonderfully talented and accomplished and successful, about like people just kind of walking away from her or just just not talking to her because she doesn't have anything to offer them. And it's just like, yeah, man, it's just, you've got to protect your circle. Make sure that the people who are around you are the people that genuinely want to be around you and will cheerlead your success. And anybody who threatens to walk away from you, or anybody that is like overly eager to walk away from you, fucking let them. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need that energy in your life. You don't need negativity in your life. Hating shit is not a personality. Just
Thank you. Thank you for that statement that like fills me with joy. Hating things is not a personality trait. It just makes you an asshole.
Yeah, just find people who can turn their brain off and enjoy Fast and Furious for 3 hours. Like, it's just, I would much rather have, I would much rather have people that want to find a reason to laugh and to like something and to be kind than people who want to fight all the time about every reason and to end relationships and all that kind of shit. You don't need that.
I just read the little thing that Felicia Day wrote, and I'm like, concentrate on those who would pick you up at the airport at your lowest point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the people worth investing in.
It's this kind of circles back to something I wanted to say earlier. We were talking about like that guy, or, you know, like negative experiences. And like, this is scary and it's really hard. And like, but like, this is something that I would challenge people to do in this space. Like, if there's one thing that I think would make the TTRPG community better, and is to be vulnerable in those moments with that guy and like say something. Like, if somebody does something that hurts your feelings or is less than ideal, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like a warfare, like I'm gonna roast this motherfucker like right now in front of everybody, but like go to the person and say, hey, you did this thing and it hurt my feelings and this is how I felt about it. You don't have to like call them to the floor or like anything, like, but just be honest about like the impact that had. One of the things I would very much like to emulate is like, if you're a real one, you don't have to worry if it's you or them, because you are real. And like, bring that, your life will get better. Like, your life will be better if you're vulnerable with the people, those pick me up at the airport kind of people. And you will find that the more open and vulnerable you are, the more willing you are to step into the uncomfortable moments and speak truth, the higher quality people will find you. It will kind of sort itself out. The more that you share your experience and talk through the things that are challenging or difficult and share your talents and share your story, the better your life will get. I think we're all in the back of our mind telling ourselves nobody cares or it doesn't matter, or like putting ourselves down in some regard. Knock that shit off. Say it out loud. Words have power. Let your feelings and your words change your life for the better. Like, if you have that guy at the table, say something. Because I guarantee like the people that matter will come pick you up at that airport. They're going to show up and they're going to take care of you. You don't have to do this by yourself.
And you shouldn't. Nobody makes it on their own. Like, we all need each other. That's kind of the fucking point of this whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And
what was it that I heard the other day? It's like the idea that people are self-interested and only in it for themselves is very convenient for capitalism.
Correct. If you want to go far, go together.
The rich. Oh yeah,
get them now,
motherfuckers.
See, that's a crunch chain I can get behind.
No, I love that proverb. I love that proverb that you quoted. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I love that.
Yeah, go together. Like, and again, like, this is a collaborative storytelling space. We can't do it by ourselves. We can't. And like,
crush the rich.
Crush the rich. Yes, Bo. Yes. Like, we are playing in a space where we put on characters, where we put on faces, and we say, "This isn't who I am." Yes, it is, y'all. We're all just taking that one piece of our personality and dialing it up to 11. Like, come on. Be vulnerable about that. Be honest about that.
What do you mean?
Because
several of my characters haven't been about me dealing with loss and grief.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100. I made the mistake of bringing a character that was based on my grandmother to a game once. Whoops! Like, whoops!
I didn't make a character about my drinking problem.
Yeah, no, it happens. But that's my thing. It's like, so like you're already bringing yourself to the table and you're already being vulnerable, and that's why it can be like scary and hard, and it's why we like can like push back and rebel and like all the things. Find the tables that will like respect you. Like find the places that like you feel at home and you feel comfortable, and keep saying yes and to those places. And like the more open, like your life can't be better if the doors are always closed. Mm-hmm. It will just stay the same. And the same is true about your tables. The same is true about your stories. You have to open the doors. You have to let like uncertainty in to your life and just accept that that's how it's going to be. But I promise if you do that, shit's going to get better.
Hell yeah.
Some assholes are going to come in and they're not going to wipe their boots. 100% that will happen. You're going to get punched in the dick a couple times, but you'll also amass an army that will eat that person alive. So like,
and it all comes back to protecting your circle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There is one more question that we have to ask before we get you out of here.
I'm ready.
Sarah, if you were God, King, Emperor of the TTRPG space, you could make communities rise, you could make empires fall with a snap of your fingers.
You asking my question?
I am, because we had to get back to it.
Okay, no, I'm just watching you.
What is it? Don't leave me in suspense.
For 24 hours, if you were the omnipotent ruler of the TTRPG space,
okay,
how would you use that power? What would you do?
I would make every single character in every single session tell one of their secrets. I would make people share. I would make it a mandatory requirement. I would make it so they have to be vulnerable with their stories. Like no more putting it off, no more hesitation. I would make them share one of their secrets so their stories can actually be told. So they can experience the magic of saying, here's my little part of me. Please be kind and accept it. And they could get that validation of we do. You know what I mean? And they can know how powerful that is, because I think like a lot of people are just out there wanting to do that, but they're afraid. And I would say, no, that's the requirement. And if you're sitting at a table where that's like, if you're sitting at a table and you don't feel comfortable or safe doing that,
I gotta get Sarah on Kingsguard, don't I?
You really do.
Get the fuck out.
You really
it's just 100%. Like I would do that. I would make it. I would remove. This is a thing. You cannot use charm spell on your fellow PCs at all. So get that shit out of here. There's no in no instance in which that is valid. You have to solve those issues in other ways. Encumbrance would just like not matter at all. Like there would be a bunch of little mechanical tweaks, but the big one is tell your secret so you can tell your story. There's no better time than right now. Time's wasted. Just do it.
Oh.
I just want to tag on if I could.
Please do.
As a GM, you control the world, and secrets are a great resource to give your players things that you want to give them, but you can't mechanically. I know that in Kingsguard, we use secrets to enact an ancient magic that the Kingsguards and the king has access to. which is just bullshit that I put together so that our players could expose their deepest, darkest truths. So there's nothing stopping you from using that as a resource. Is put a trap in your world that only goes away with a secret. Create a monster who loses resistance to things by expressing genuine emotions. Like, I think we get so wrapped up in the mechanics of the game that we forget that some of the best stories have heroes win via emotion and honesty and vulnerability. So fucking do that shit. Like, there's nothing stopping you from creating a demon monster who only loses vulnerability to the damage type that
who grows stronger with lies.
Yeah,
weakens with
secrets.
Truth. Weakens with truth.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I like that a lot.
That. I'm stealing it.
Yoink. Yoink.
But yeah, get creative.
Yeah, like if you there are other mediums. Write a book, play a video game, watch a TV show, but like there are stories that only you can tell, and time's wasting. Get out there and fucking tell some good stories. That's what we're here to do. Like, let's just make it happen.
Is that like the perfect place for us to end this?
Yeah, I was about to say this. I was about to say the same thing. I don't think we're gonna top that.
No. That was beautiful.
I love how we just trip and fall into good episodes. Like, how the fuck did we do?
Oh.
It's been like 50 plus episodes, and we always start with a clusterfuck, and we always end somewhere meaningful.
It's kind of our
because
brand
you
at
go
this
in
point.
with it's because you go in and you're vulnerable and like sincere, and you're the real one. And when you're the real one, real things happen. Spoiler alert.
I'm not vulnerable. I keep all
This
my
is all a
emotions close to the
character.
chest.
This is a facade. This is a ruse. You've been bamboozled.
Heckin' bamboozled.
I don't show empathy. I'm a bad player. I have it in writing. All right, so that's been our episode.
Gonna put on my chapstick.
I'm collecting hands.
Just gonna sip. Just gonna do a deep sip.
I need gunshot sounds on my soundboard.
Pow, pow,
Pow
pow.
pow.
I GM'd you for a year. I would GM you for 1,000 more. You're one of my favorite people. And Anita, I love sitting at your table. I'm in awe of like what you've already done in 3 fucking episodes of a show. And I cannot wait to see.
It's all you.
See where it goes.
It's all y'all.
No, it ain't.
Terribly unprepared every session, and every session you all help me find
and
the
yet,
plot.
And yet, my mind, like, go back and watch episode 2 of The Lost Frontier and watch as I lose my goddamn mind.
This is about to turn into a love fest, so I'm going to start the outro.
Do it.
And we'll probably be in the green room talking some more. Speaking of the green room, I'll pitch that in the outro to Anita's chagrin. Hey everybody, I've been one of your hosts. I'm Noir. I go by Hive. You can find me all over the internet as the TTRPGs. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Every Sunday, you can find me behind the scenes working as the producer for Rivals of Waterdeep. Please check that out. It's a good time. They're on their 11th season, and we're doing the season finale next week at PAX, and that's where you can find me because it's my job and I have to be there.
Contractually obligated.
I'm just collecting all sorts of heads today.
Let's go. Heads and butts and heads and butts and heads and butts.
Butts.
On Monday, you can find us right here at Critical Misses for Kingsguard. Kingsguard is a 5th edition game sponsored by Roll20 set that takes place in the homebrew world of Gloria, which I have been playing in since I was 16 years old. It's very old, but it's very fun. Our party took out the season BBEG in the 2nd episode. It was last episode.
You fuck with the king, you get the guard.
I do have to.
I love that.
I'm gonna really get into this because I've never been more proud of an episode of a show that I've GM'd in my life. If there's one episode of Kingsguard to watch, it was last week's. Our paladin, Anita's character, died and fought their way back to life by upholding an oath that they meant. And the wielders of her blade restored them to life. Our warlock was trapped in the belly of a sandworm who burrowed 600 feet deep under the sand and died due to the poison that is in the warlock's blood. And our warlock had to figure out how to get this dead worm to burrow back to the surface and get out without magic, because the plane has a constant counterspell. And they did it, and it was powerful. Like, it was a really awesome scene.
I'm getting emotional just hearing you recount it. I'm legitimately like, oh my god.
AJ, who plays our king, went toe-to-toe with an evil ancient shadow fae figure, who if you want mechanics, I'm gonna break it down, was a level 20 blade singer with ridiculous magic items, and they went toe-to-toe before the Black King killed AJ's character in front of the rest of the party, and instead of running, they fought him to a standstill and then killed him. And this is after going days without a long rest, and most of them were at less than half hit points. But
I expect to cry about this right now.
I took the oath of vengeance just before this entire thing went down. Yenna was not going to back down from this fight. Yenna didn't care if the rest of the party had their back. Yenna was going to fucking murder this man.
This is amazing.
And in the midst of the fight, the Black King plane shifted our fighter to another plane where he met Lilith, the mother of all dark and shadowy things, and she has now claimed him as a child of her own.
Yes. Excuse me. I'd like to submit my resume, please. If you would like a list of references for me to participate in your project, I can mail these to you shortly.
I'm telling you, last episode was fucking crazy.
The blade singer was trying to treat with a sentient blade that was terrified of what was coming next and kept sinking further and further into the earth every time Arabella failed to talk this blade into fighting with her.
And so the party killed season 2 BBEG, thus gaining the attention of season 4's BBEG. The Black King fell, so now they have to fight the Red Queen. So this is I definitely recommend tuning in. It's I'm a fan of this.
Chat, I need you to mutiny and spam Noir forever to get me included in this project. Just tweet Sarah wants in at him every single day to make this happen, please.
Say less, because they're I have ideas. Anyway, that's my Monday. Tuesdays you can find me doing nothing. Wednesdays you can find me over on Black Cats Gaming, where we play the spy game. I play Agent Oppenheimer, whose face has just been blown off by a drone. He's putting in a cybernetic eye implant and may be gaining a new code name. I'm just going to spoil it because I'm very excited about the code name. He's going to go by code name Odin, and he just got 3 new drones, so he's getting the whole Odin thing going, and I'm very excited.
Hyugin Mugen, and what was the other Raven's name?
A Boom Buzzer, because he's not changing the name of that third drone. I have a few other projects that I can't quite talk about, but please be on the lookout on my Twitter. Very excited to be joining some new projects. One of the new projects I am in is with Sarah, so I am super duper excited about that. And I might just be guesting on a show here in Critical Misses. You might have to check that out. Other than that, I do want to kind of give myself a little bit of shout out. There's something that happened this week that I'm extraordinarily proud of, which is LifeWire featured me in an article about the safety measurements that Twitch is taking part in and how I feel about that. They reached out to me because unfortunately I was target of a hate raid, and this is my first time being published in a news blog, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, that's everything that's happening on this side of the field. Look, we're gonna go right up to Anita and tell us where we can find you and what you're up to.
Hi, I'm Anita or Panita or Critical Misses. You can find me everywhere online at Panita or at Critical Misses, because this is my channel. This is what I do. I'm a TTRPG producer, graphic designer, role player, and cat mom about the space. You can find me here Mondays for Kingsguard, Wednesdays behind the scenes running tech for Blue Ghosts, which is a Blades in the Dark game run by the lovely It's the Riddler. And then Fridays you can find me back here again for The Lost Frontier, which is a Star Trek Adventures campaign that things are heating up. The AI that they've befriended is now going to be under the scrutiny of Starfleet Command. Lieutenant Reginald Barclay from Jupiter Station has stopped by to have a look at the holodeck that they're implemented in and see what they can do to possibly remove them. Yeah, that's a fun time. There's no episode of Morning Ritual next week because my wonderful co-host is going to be at PAX Unplugged doing all that good work.
I'm on 2 panels, y'all. How'd that happen?
I don't know, because you're brilliant.
Can confirm.
I don't believe that.
Wednesdays, you can also find me pre-recorded on Vancouver by Night's Twitch channel for Changing the Dreaming. Our team has been going through the back rooms for a little bit. It's been weird. We were at a roller rink, and I used all of my English lit knowledge to solve a puzzle.
Amazing. Was the answer just Charles Dickens? Because the answer is always Charles Dickens.
No, it was actually analyzing song lyrics.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Which is like very similar to Bart's Refrain.
We needed you in the Bart's Refrain.
But
World
yeah,
colliding.
That's where you can find me. But I will throw it over to Sarah. Tell us who you are. Tell us where we can find you.
Hi. Yeah. Hi. I am 0SarahXFrank0. You can find me Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all the places at 0SarahXFrank0. I do a variety of TTRPG content here on Critical Misses with The Lost Frontier. I'm also over at TVK Roleplay and Nat20 and soon to be Neon Lights Roleplay. I would love it if you guys would come hang out with Noir and I tonight over at Nat20, as well as Bright Dystopia, who's in chat. In the last time around, a gritty retelling of the Curse of Strahd campaign, we're doing the overture, kind of introducing the characters. I'm so fucking excited for this one, y'all. Like, oh my god.
That's the one where Noir wears the scarf that I left at their place.
Amazing.
As part of the cosplay.
Amazing. Yeah, so come check it out. It's gonna get real dark and real intense. No long rests. 28 days to get through Barovia. It's gonna be a whole thing, and I'm very excited. You can find me Sunday on Nat20 in Morningstar and Company, which is a homebrew post-Barovia homebrew campaign where I play a Water Genasi wizard. This Sunday, I'll be running just a fun one-shot because we've got schedules goofed up for the holidays. So come watch me GM and put my money where my mouth is, and you can see all my hijinks in action. You can find me on TBK Roleplay on Monday in Stargate Phoenix, which is a Stargate-based campaign. That's a whole bunch of fun. I play Gary the engineer, and she doesn't give a fuck. She's a delight to play. You can find me next Wednesday back at Nat20 in Against the Tides, a D&D campaign where I play a gnome druid bard named Kelby Sparkspinner. If you want me to parody songs, that's the best place to find it. I put all the power of the Bard's Refrain into a single character. And it's everything. You can also find me in shows like The Harpers. There's a new project kicking off on Neon Lights Roleplay on the 15th. I've got a bunch of stuff coming in, the next year that I'm doing, which I'm very, very excited for. Murder and Coffee on the 18th after dark, we don't have Dark Echoes this month. But Murder and Coffee, we're going to talk about making your home game special, how to increase immersion through handouts and different fun things. So I'm joined by the incredible Luca Locke there. Just so many cool things. Hey, Noir, Anita, I think just the world of you guys. I think the community that you've created here at Critical Misses is something truly special, and the world is better for having it. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you, chat, for hanging out and doing all the things. And I hope you guys have a wonderful time and come hang out with me. I'm funny sometimes, but mostly awkward.
Heck yeah. That's
I just want to mention, like, the entire point of Morning Ritual is to expose the community to people that I think are extraordinarily dope, and this is one of the dopest people that I think I've met in a very long time. So please follow Sarah on all the things. I'm
like 6 away from 300 on Twitter. I'm like so close to 300.
Why? That is criminal. Why are you only at 300?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's criminal how underappreciated Sarah is. So please, let's try and get Sarah to 1,000 on Twitter and all the things. So please show all the love, support the projects, and yeah, I think that's gonna be it.
Yeah. We're going to go on a raid. I see that our friends over at TTRPG are online, and we can send some love over that direction.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's throw some love over to TTRPG. There's a problem with the raid. Did they end?
I think they.
How could they?
Let me just refresh my page.
Nope, they wrapped. So
they wrapped.
I think. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and show some love to the lovely werewolf who is playing on Roll For It right now.
Yes.
Can you give me the spelling on that, so that way I can
Roll For It.
Is it ROLL or ROLE?
ROLL, like dinner rolls.
Perfect.
We're
going to go on a raid to Roll For It. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. And Sarah, it's been so lovely talking to you. We're going to definitely talk more in the room after this. And I like you, too.
Hugs. Never let go hugs.
Oh, the hugs. Thanks, everybody, for
You're in the
stopping
clubhouse
by.
now.
Hell yeah. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by and hanging out with us this morning. But until next time, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye.